Okay, so you'll have been in the waiting room, and the guy will have come out and got you to sign the piece of paper. As you're signing it, you'll be able to look at the form and see what you've got. But you wanted to work today on PST4.
Yeah, please.
Reversing and then T-junctions emerging. Yeah. So, how do you want to do you want to set it? Or do you just want to run it as though it's a test and drop in and out of roll as is necessary?
Yeah, I
for
think
any
so.
points that come up. Okay.
I think so.
So we're not really looking at this point to manage it in less than half an hour, which is fine. That's okay. So we'll just drop.
Well,
in
I'll try and do it in.
Sure.
Because I'm conscious I've only got sort of 8 minutes to talk it through. Oh no, hang on, no. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
It's.
And explain what we want.
I think we can sometimes get a bit locked into thinking, okay, I've got 8 minutes. Just give me the information in a logical order in an easy to understand manner. 8 minutes is a long time. They want to get on, so he doesn't want you. If he feels that you're taking too much time, he'll push you on.
Yeah.
Or he'll start demonstrating a better level of knowledge. They don't want a lot of time wasted on briefing.
Okay.
He wants the basics. He wants to see that you can give him the information he needs to be able to safely complete the manoeuvre. That doesn't necessarily mean that he wants a massive level of detail or anything, because of course you're going to talk him through when he has a go at it, aren't you?
Okay.
Okay, so PST4, he will say to you as he gets in the car, this is a test of your instructional ability. I'd like you to treat me as though I'm a partly trained learner. I've had a few lessons, and today my instructor was going to teach me to do reversing to the left. My name's Bob, and he can call me Bob. He's unable to make it today. He's got an appointment at the hospital or something. So they've organised for you to do the lesson today. I'm familiar with the layout and controls of this car. It's the same sort of car that I've done all my lessons in. Have a couple of minutes to collect your thoughts, and then we'll begin. I think it's really important, at this point, that you take the time to get yourself set.
Yeah.
Get everything you need so that you're not scrapping around looking like you don't know what you're doing. And just take those few moments to make sure your presenter's on the right page, you've got all the notes that you might need, that mentally and physically you're in good shape. If you're going to adopt the breathing techniques, the pushing the jaw down and forward and the tongue flat and dished on the bottom of your mouth so you can suck air over it and make you salivate so your mouth doesn't dry. Get all that sorted then. If he gets tired of waiting, he'll say, okay, come on then. But all too often I see people that rush. Just take your time. Just take your time. Get everything set. So take your time to get yourself organised, and when you're ready, we'll begin.
Okay, morning Bob.
Good morning.
I'm Andy, I'm your instructor for today.
Hi Andy.
Now, I understand your instructor's not available today, your regular
the hospital,
instructor.
I think, something like that. Yeah.
Right, that's fine. Well, he's asked me to look after you today.
All right, okay.
And today we're covering reversing to the left.
Okay.
Okay. So just get a bit of background. You've driven a little bit, yeah?
Yeah. I've had, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 lessons.
Okay. And how do you think it's going so far? What's your feedback from your instructor?
Right. Yeah, I think we're making progress. I think getting there.
Okay. What did you do in your last lesson?
Well, we did. I'm trying to think now. I think we did Crossroads last time we were out.
Okay.
Yeah. One or two other bits and pieces, but it was mainly Crossroads.
On Crossroads, so you're aware of observation links and the requirement to check what's going off. Okay. Have you done any slow manoeuvres?
No. What you mean, like turning the road and that sort of thing? No, we haven't.
Turning the road.
No.
Obviously, you'll have done initially the setting off and stopping.
Oh yeah.
So you'll use some clutch control there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be covering that today.
All right. Okay.
In the reverse to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. So you haven't done any turns in the road and what have you. Why do you think we might need to do a reverse into a left turn?
Not sure.
Okay. Well, sometimes you may go down a wrong road. And you might need to turn round. There may not be a roundabout available, so your only option may be to turn into an opening.
Right, okay.
Depending where it is, will determine where you choose to do that manoeuvre.
Right.
So we look at the links as to what's in the road you're going to turn in. If it's a very busy road, you might decide to go a little bit further, turn into another road that's much quieter, and then turn around in that one.
Okay.
But we'll cover that as we go through. And what we're going to do, we're going to drive to an area where it's nice and quiet,
Oh, okay.
so we can practice the reverse turn. And I'll just show you what we're going to do just before we set off, using these visuals.
Okay, I'll just pop it all there on for a second. That's great. Drive to an area. Ask him the question. Give him the option. Do you want me to brief you on that here, or do you want me to brief you at the location? Here, you'll brief at the location. But if we were using other test centres, sometimes you brief in the car park there because they're only going to just go around the corner. So ask him, and he'll tell you.
Okay.
Back and all.
What about the rest of it?
How do you mean?
Well, sort of the question and answer bit, get into that bit.
Well, I would do that at the test centre, and then say, okay, no, I'm going to give you a brief on it. Do you want to do that here? Do you want to do that at the location? Jeff here will say at the location.
Did that cover enough detail prior to getting to the location?
Does it? But does it tell you what you need to know? Do you think?
I think so. I've asked about what you've done. Determined you've done no sort of slow manoeuvres. Aware of your clutch control because you've started and stopped. Gone through why you might need to do a turn, and then obviously we're going to choose a location to do it.
Sure.
And I've explained that it'll be a quiet area to carry out this manoeuvre.
So is there anything else you could ask to help you with this? So you've asked me about manoeuvres, and I've said, oh, you mean turning the road? So what you mean is straight line reversing, isn't it? So ask me if I've done straight line reversing. So reverse to straight line. Oh yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
I was actually thinking of turning the road and what have you, mainly for the clutch control for coming round.
So you'd say, oh no, he might say, I haven't done any manoeuvres now, because he's thinking like moving around, but has he reversed in a straight line? Because if he hasn't, you're going to make him do that first.
Right.
So you go, oh no, I have done that. Yeah.
Okay.
So always established. So have you controlled the car at a really slow speed, like say for example, reversing in a straight line or on any of the manoeuvres?
So I put that in where I put clutch control, sort of feed it in back of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've covered setting off and stopping on one of your initial lessons. Have you done any straight line reversing at all?
Oh yeah, we did a little bit of that last week.
Okay. And how did that go?
It was alright. Tricky at first, but I think I got it in the end.
Okay. Do you manage to keep the car in a straight line? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, obviously that's going to be that's going to be a major part of this particular manoeuvre.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because obviously we've got to reverse a little bit before we do the turn, and there'll be a little bit more reversing. I'll just start roll again. Would I explain on here just what we're going to do prior to setting off, or wait till we get to the...
Again, if you give him the option, if he says no, we'll brief at the area. Wait till you get to the area.
Okay.
Because of course you're going to watch him drive on the way to the location. On the drive, obviously you're watching for any problems that might come up, but you're watching for clues that might give you an idea about what his problems might be.
Yeah. So I'm steering too quickly, jerky clutch.
Yep.
Excessive speed.
Yeah. So there may be a clue. There might not. He might not get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
So you've sort of set the scene. Before you leave the location where you're sat, yep, watch him do it, and also ask the question, driven from here before? Because he may go, oh no. And if it's a tricky one, I mean, at Polyfrac Test Centre here, if you're turning right out of the car park, it's difficult to get the position right there, isn't it? Because there's no lines, and it's massively wide.
It's on that big bend, isn't it?
Yeah, so you need to know, have you driven from here before? Oh yeah. You're comfortable with it? Yeah. You don't need any help from me? No. Or you might go, oh, no, I'm a bit unsure. Which bit are you unsure of? I mean, he's not going to waste time.
So is there that's a good example. So is there a black and white thing if you're coming out of the test centre and you are turning right? Is there sort of preferred, well, you want to keep relatively over to the left?
Well, there's two schools of thought here.
Because if that's potentially your opening, and we're going right, cars that's coming in this way, they're unlikely to come this way. I wouldn't expect them to, so you force them really round that way. So it's almost towards this end.
Well, you need to position so, because there's no lines, you need to position so you're clearly stating to all of those around you what you're about. Your signal confirms it, but your positioning should say the same.
So you'd almost got it a slight angle to the right.
It's, well, some of the local guys point towards the telegraph pole or the tree that's over the way, but I think right angles to where the giveaway lane would have been. Plenty of room on the left for somebody to come up inside you, and a room for people to go around you on the right. So there's no mistake.
So towards
anybody
the left, no space there. Yeah. Okay. That's useful.
Okay, back and roll.
Okay. So I'm going to drive to a nice quiet location.
Oh, okay.
Before we do that, we'll carry out the cockpit drill, which... are you familiar with the cockpit drill?
Yeah. It's
okay, so if you...
doors. Oh, sorry, handbrake. Doors. Shut. Shit.
That's good.
Just that one a bit. Yep, I think that's...
Okay, just as a pointer, so he's done that, done the check. Do you need to sort of clarify what he can see down the side, or do you take it as read that he's set it up?
You could ask, but he's going to have set it up right. He's not going to create issues with this.
Yeah.
You've watched what I'm doing. You were watching closely that I didn't twist it. So you're just keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
Make sure he doesn't do... Remember, he's quite often, the advice is given that, treat him like a learner. He's not a learner. He's an assessor, assessing your performance. And part of that performance that's being assessed is, are you able to watch what I'm doing and keep an eye on him and make sure that you're keeping me safe? So he's checking that you're watching him. So he might, just twist it. So just keep an eye on it. You've done that, ask him. So you've got them set up so you can see clearly behind? Yeah. Tell me what you can see. Because he doesn't want to waste time, he's going to go up and say, I can see about a quarter of the car and I can see clearly now the horizon's about halfway up. I've got a good clear view.
Yeah. But it's just that sort of thing that would he expect me to ask it, or would he almost assume, well, we'll take it as read, I have checked it, I've watched you adjust it, but I don't know whether you've adjusted it correctly. I mean, for all I know, you could have done that one up to the sky, but I'd have a good idea it was out of the correct plane.
Yeah. So it's getting used to how they look from your seat.
Yeah.
When they're set properly as well. But there's different heights. The examiner here is extremely tall, so he's probably going to have them set like that. So I'll give you a little bit of an idea. But just ask the question, what can you see? He's not going to waste time on it. So he'll tell you. But again, you're just showing that you're on top of the game. So you got those sets, you're comfortable, you can see everything? Yeah. What they don't want, and it happens sometimes, is you pulling the presenter out and opening on the mirror page and saying, can you see it like this? That's not necessary.
Because you have to cover that on the controls and what have you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yep, I think back and roll. I think I'm set. Yeah.
Okay, so we're prepared to go. Right, hang on. If we're doing that, do I have waited?
Yeah, you wouldn't have the seatbelt on because you'd have just got in the car.
Yeah. So I'd wait till you're fully in place. Watch you, check everything's okay. So right before we set off, I'll put my seatbelt on.
Whatever you do, don't get involved in getting yourself ready while he's getting ready because you'll miss something.
Yeah. That just occurred to me just then because obviously I've already got the seatbelt on.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the car prepared. So we'll set off to the training area.
Take the road to the left out of the car park, and at the end of that road we'll go right.
Would you say to him that on the way to the training area I'll be observing you driving?
I think one of the best ways of putting it is, okay, well, so we're driving to the training area. I'll see if there's anything you're driving I can give you a hand with.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a nice and gentle,
non-threatening
way of putting it.
Yeah. So as we drive to the training area, Bob, I'll look at how you're driving and just see if there's any areas that I can help you with.
All right, okay.
If I spot something perhaps your regular instructor hasn't noticed. Okay, so when you're ready, don't forget your right shoulder check, Bob, before we set up. Very important. Do you know why we do that?
Let's make sure there's nobody like that I didn't see in the mirror, isn't it?
That's it.
So we've been sat for a little while, isn't it?
That's it. And turn left out of the car park. To do your arm checks, Bob. Right and left. Just watch your speed, Bob. You seem to be dropping down to 30. Is there any reason for that?
Alright, oh, that's 40 here, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Don't forget to check your mirrors before you put your signal on, Bob.
Alright. Can I take the next road on the right?
Can't see your indicator. That's it. We'll take the next turn to the right, please, Bob.
Pull up on the left just round the corner before the next turning on the left.
Okay, when we're going around the corner, Bob, if you can pull up on the left, safe, legal and convenient place, just before the next junction. Okay. Just a couple of things there, Bob. Just notice as we pulled up, we're just a little bit far away from the curb. Can you see in the mirror? We're quite a way away. We should be just about on the line of where the grate is. Can you see the grate in the mirror?
Oh, yeah,
So we just want to be in from that a little bit.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're sitting out a little bit wide in the road.
Right.
What problem do you think that might cause for people wanting to come past you?
Well, I suppose I'm a bit far. It's making it harder for them to get by, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah. So it's just consideration for the road users,
All right.
and it's if you're on a particularly narrow road, it also reduces the risk of your car getting thumped.
All right.
Especially if you're going to leave the car, so it has to be
okay.
nicely parked towards the side of the curb.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I noticed that as I pointed out to you, your speed had dropped a little bit. Do you have a problem with sort of keeping up to the speed? Does it worry you at all?
No, I hadn't noticed.
You hadn't noticed a thing. Okay. You have to watch out for the repeater signs. You'll see the 40 repeater signs. Okay.
All right.
A good tip is when you're on a main road, if you pass a minor opening, if you're on a 40 or anything above 40, it will show a speed limit sign lower than what you're on. So on a 40, as you turn into a 30, you'll see a 30 sign. So that's always a good indication. If you're not quite sure and you've missed the repeater signs.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then, like as we are on this road, there's no repeater signs at all. So, unless otherwise specified, it'll be 30 miles an hour.
Right.
What you will see now in a lot of areas, especially near schools, you may see a further reduction of maybe 20 and even down to a lower speed limit if it's for a particular reason, usually around schools, for obvious reasons for the children.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so popping in a roll. What have you noticed about me as a driver that might cause you problems here?
A little bit hesitant.
What's causing the hesitancy? I'm not seeing the sign, am I? Oh, I'm linking that in roll to my observation. How's my observation?
Yeah, you weren't paying attention. You didn't do your shoulder check. When we came out from the junction, you didn't look to the right.
Correct.
Yeah.
I wasn't checking all around until you told me. As we came along the road, I hadn't noticed the 40. So my observation isn't brilliant. Anything else that might cause you issues here? You've already pulled me about it.
Position on the road.
Why is my position poor?
You either haven't got the mirrors set up correctly, or you're not used to the size of the vehicle.
I don't know how to judge it.
Yeah.
I don't. You might
No
need to give
reference
me a
point.
reference point.
Yeah.
So I've already given you clues as to where the problem might be. And the examiner will do the same. He will drive in a consistent manner. So you've already seen that. Okay, I've got that one noted. So that's where he's at. Now, it might change his mind because something else might come up. Or if you've nailed it, because I don't know if you noticed as we came along the road, I kept drifting away from the curb and back in. So I'm not able to judge where I am on the road. So if I can't do that going forward, the chances of me doing it going backwards are pretty slim.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm probably going to need, you don't know, but I'm probably going to need a reference point. So there's already clues here. So they are very good at being consistent. But what tends to happen is we don't look for it. We're looking for something else. And the reality is you only see what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So look for little clues. Okay, how's that going to pan out during the reverse? Because that's what he's doing. He's not going to suddenly not know how to judge his position. He will have demonstrated that before.
Because I was looking at you, I thought, was he going to try slipping his clutch? I was looking for the checks in the mirror, but I hadn't noticed that you'd come out a little bit.
Let's see what you're looking at back. Not a lot, but enough to say,
Yeah.
why are we drifting here? Wide road, so I can get away with it. But it's just that you're assessed on reverse and control, observation, accuracy. Now, an examiner is only supposed to commit faults on the PST. So they're the faults that I'm displaying here. You know, if there's other stuff comes up, then yeah, they're probably going to take the opportunity and see what you do about it. But it's all linked, because he's got a clear idea in his mind before he leaves that test centre, the mistakes he's going to make and where he's going to make them.
Yeah.
And he'll have thought it through, and they spend a lot of time on their role play, making sure that they're consistent, and that they're only working on the PST. Because they're assessing, one of the things about assessment is it has to be consistent. VARCs, they call it. It needs to be valid, it needs to be accurate, reliable. So it's and above all fair, so that you know that this is what's going to be happening. So there's no point in him demonstrating faults that aren't on his PST, because that really wouldn't be fair. So it's all part of the assessor thing, and if we think of him as a learner, it's not going to work. He's an assessor. I've done that for a particular reason, because I want to see that you can link it to this.
Yeah.
So I've given you the opportunity. It doesn't matter if you haven't picked up on it, because you're about to get the opportunity to pick up on it again, because I'm going to get it wrong on the manoeuvre.
Yeah.
I've preempted it now, but there's only certain things you can get wrong. You get your position wrong, you get your speed wrong, you get your observations wrong. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the corner that we'll use for the reverse.
Okay.
Back and roll.
Okay, Bob, so we're at the area we're going to use for the reverse manoeuvre around the corner. And the corner on the left here, where it says Stump Cross Meadows,
Oh, yeah.
that's the road which we're going to reverse into.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what I'm going to ask you to do, I'm just going to give you a little briefing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is us here at the moment, parked up. I'm going to drive past the junction on the left, pull up about 2 car lengths after the junction,
All right.
okay, and then when we're ready, I'll get you to reverse around the corner. There's a couple of things we need to consider. So, right, just start rolling in.
Okay.
Is it better to break this down and say, right, what I'll do, I'll get you to drive beyond the junction first, or do you do the whole briefing from here and then? So I was thinking, right, we're going to drive past this, and as we drive past, we'll look up the road. No, I'll have to do it here, because if I do it that way, by the time I've done the briefing, a couple of bus loads could have turned up there, couldn't it?
Could be. Or there's the potential that you might lose your place. Here, you're in control. If you go forward there, and I mess it up going forward, you're going to get involved in picking up on that fault. You might forget to do the next bit, and then you're about to allow me to have a go at the manoeuvre when I'm not a brief. So I would do it all here. then you can tick your things off the list, then you know where you're at. If that makes sense. I think that's probably the best way of doing it.
Bearing in mind that what we said about position and what have you, in this instance, normally like go to whatever point it is there, would you take it just a little bit further right? I just want to see how you reverse. Just reverse a little bit for me.
Well,
control it, then stop and say, right, now we're going to do the manoeuvre.
If you want to check on his, let's say, his clutch control or his accuracy, just get him to go forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, where you are. It'll become fairly plain straight away what the problem is.
Yeah.
You can't engineer out the mistakes he's going to make.
Yeah.
No matter how good your brief is, how clear a description you give me, I'm still going to get it wrong.
Okay.
No matter how you can deliver the best brief in the history of briefs, and I'm still going to mess it up.
Okay.
Otherwise, what am I going to do for the next 22 minutes? Drive properly?
That's fair enough.
Back and roll.
So, we're going to start from here. We're going to drive past the junction. We'll go a slow speed. We'll probably stay in first gear as we go past. And as we drive past, just have a little glance up to the left, look into the new road. But be very careful as you look into the road that it doesn't cause you to steer, because sometimes as we look to whichever direction, that can cause us to steer.
Okay.
So we keep a nice straight course, have a look up. What do you think we might be looking for?
People coming along, I suppose.
Yep. People come along, any parked vehicles.
All right, yeah.
Because what you're looking for, you want to be able to do that manoeuvre, have the space to do it safely, so you can physically get round the corner and
okay.
be able to turn around. Okay. So, for that, we have to consider how we're going to be positioned. So, as you can see the curb line at the side of the pavement, the curb drops down onto the road, so that's what I'll refer to as the curb. So we want to be about a foot away from the curb as we pull up, and that's where we're going to keep that line as we reverse. So if you look on the diagram, so as we park, prior to setting off, just give me thoughts. Pull past the junction, about 2 car lengths, and we'll park approximately a foot away from the curb. Okay, we'll secure the car, put it into neutral. And before we carry out the manoeuvre, what do you think we might need to do?
Put it in reverse.
And get the car ready, and before we actually move away, what's it very important that we need to do? Think about what you do when we set off going forwards.
All right.
What do you always do?
Oh, I look around.
Have a good look around. And again, we do that because...
Make sure it's safe.
Yeah. So
it's the same here?
It's the same here,
right.
especially for we need to know what's coming up behind us,
Right.
okay, and what's coming up in front of us.
Right.
Okay, very important because and we do a couple of regular checks as we go around the manoeuvre.
All right.
Okay. Because what we've got to think about is, as you start to come round the corner, when we get to that point, the front of the car will at some point be sitting like that.
All right.
Okay, so the front of the car is coming out. So if there's anything coming towards us, it's now over the potentially on the wrong side of the road. So we've got to think about that. If vehicles coming towards us or coming up from behind.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So under this manoeuvre, it's very important to have very good clutch control. So what I'll probably ask you to do when we're on the other side of this junction is just demonstrate to me, just to go forward a little bit and then reverse, just so I can see how your clutch control is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Make sure we're happy with that, because you've really got to do this manoeuvre slowly.
Oh, okay.
You're barely moving, really.
Right.
So it's not a fast pace crawling. Okay. Right. What we're doing on this junction, if you can see how the shape of the junction is, it's it's not quite as square as the one on this diagram.
It's quite round,
it's a little more rounded.
Yeah.
So the aim is we're going to try and follow that line around. So we want the car to follow that line around.
Okay.
So what you'll need is a bit of a reference point to help you. Now, just that roll,
Go on.
hopefully the reference point I'm going to say to you is correct.
Well, it's a reference point. It's an approximate point that
Yeah.
may or may not work. It's just a guide.
Yeah.
So if you give him a guide, he'll try and follow it. You can then determine whether that's working while you're doing it.
Yeah.
So where's your reference point now? Where is it now?
Because there's sort of two, and one I hadn't thought about, probably from having done my test years ago. I hadn't even considered that one because I always worked on the back
Top
of the seat rest.
Yeah.
But the other one was to pick up the curb line in the sort of centre of the window, and as it disappears, and then watch it appear out of the near side window, and use that as a guide.
Again, it's very subjective, isn't it? Reference points depends on your height, depends on how you sat. It's a very different reference point looking like that than it is looking like that.
Yeah.
Because you've moved. So it's just a guide.
Yeah.
Your job is to help him discover how to do it for himself. So reference points are okay; they do work, and examiners do like them. In the real world, it's more, well, just judge it. And I just say stop.
Because for me,
How is this working?
and possibly on this one, sitting there, I'm going to have to discover some sort of being here. Oh, mind you, I can't because I'm going to watch you. So I'm going to be able to
That's the one.
see that way as well. Aren't I?
So, as part of this exercise, you're also finding little reference points for yourself. You can also use the mirror, just to check. But the main observation needs to be here because I'm aware of the mistakes are happening.
Yeah.
You need to be aware of your surroundings as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I can roll.
Right. So when reversing around the corner, we need to keep the car nice and controlled. Okay. Nice slow speed, and we're trying to follow the line of that curb as we reverse round. Okay. With the rear wheels, the front of the car is going to come out wider. Okay. So whilst the rear wheels are there, the front wheels are probably going to be out there a little bit,
All right.
following you around until we
I see, right.
until we get right round the junction. So it's important that before we actually start the turn, we just stop, have another quick check, shoulder check, good observation all the way around, just make sure nothing's appeared, because potentially you could have a pedestrian. We've got guys working around here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we've got some vans moving around, obviously,
All right. Okay.
maybe delivering to these guys. So we've got to be vigilant for what's happening there. As we come around the corner, probably when we get to about this position, again, stop, just have another check around, make sure everything's safe, and then we'll continue round the corner, reversing up, and again, the aim is to end up again about a foot away from the curb, about 3 or 4 car lengths, but I'll help you with that.
Oh, okay.
Now, as you're going around the corner, as well as looking around you, what you need to be able to do is see the back of the car. So as you're reversing, we need, what might be helpful for you is adopting a comfortable position to reverse in.
All right.
Okay. So for you, if you hold the top of the steering with your right hand and put your left hand at sort of 8 o'clock-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. And just try manoeuvring, because when you're turning, you're gonna turn like that in your seat, so you can look to the front and look behind you, because you're going to be looking out the back window and through this rear passenger window. So if you just try that while we're here, just what can you see? Are you comfy with that? Can you see right out the back?
Tricky, isn't it? You can't really get. No, not really.
You can move around a little bit more if you want to. So as I'm here, obviously just sort of move it if it's comfortable. So you just move a little bit
What,
further.
like that? Is that all right?
Yeah,
All right. Oh, that's better.
that gives you a better view. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one thing to be wary of when we do this, and it's like with some other manoeuvres with your clutch control, because you're moving your body. The temptation is that as you move, your leg might move, and you can slip off the clutch.
Right.
So you've just got to be wary as you're turning, just to be able to keep your clutch control. So maybe just practice that now. I was stationary. Just get it to the sort of point you know where the biting point is. So just sort of hold it there. And imagine you're holding it on the biting point, and get yourself into position to reverse. And just try moving the steering wheel as if you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll be looking out through the back window.
That's easier, yeah.
Okay. And with your left foot obviously controlling the clutch,
Yeah.
you very small movements. You're almost just on the biting point all the time,
Oh,
just while you
okay.
control it. It shouldn't be coming right off at all.
Right.
and input on the gas pedal will be minimal.
Oh, okay.
So you're just guiding the car. Now, dependent on the road, there is a very slight slope on here, so we may have to consider just covering the foot brake, just so the car doesn't roll away and get out of control from you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so be wary of that, and I'll help you as well.
Okay.
But I don't know if you can notice as well, from where we are, it's a slight rise, and there's just a little bump.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
you can see it on the white line.
Yeah.
can't you?
So it might be, once we come around the corner, we might just need to put a little bit more gas on,
All right.
because the car's going to level out, and you might just need to give it a little bit of gas
All
just to
right.
keep it moving around the corner.
Okay.
Okay. Start roll. How's
Good.
that?
You tell me, have you covered everything? Do I have what I need? Is there anything
I don't think I've done reference points. So.
We've said we're going to follow the line of the curb around. That might work. You can wait and see how that works. But is there any information I need? Have you given me any incorrect information? Is there anything missing? Anything I don't know how to deal with? So a quick one on the change of the position. Don't get to the bike and then change position. Get into position, then select reverse. Don't get him to do that. His foot will come off the clutch. He'll have you all over the place. So okay, assume the position. Now select reverse. Otherwise, if you're in reverse, he does that. I promise you, what's going to happen is that.
Right, yeah.
So turn, now select reverse. So get into the position first. Don't change around while you're moving, because you're giving him a rod for it to hit you hard with.
Yeah, well, that, yeah, okay.
That's fine. Other road users, you've told me that we're going to look for them, but what am I going to do when they come? I don't know. So, again, just a brief one. Just while you were telling me if somebody comes, and if they do come, we'll stop and work out what we need to do.
Yeah.
If they come up behind us, we're probably going to have to go back to the beginning. Sometimes they'll go around us, in which case we might get the opportunity to carry on, but we'll assess those situations as we come to them. And then I've got the information. It's wherever you've given me stuff that's incomplete, you're making a hole off. You haven't told me stuff. Well, I don't know how to do it, and he can just go crazy. If he feels he's a learner driver that's attempting something that he doesn't have the full information, that's unsafe, and he's going to make a right hash of it. So I'm not saying we need to have a massive amount of detail, but we need to make sure that we've got all of these basic points covered, so that for the most part, you tell me what I need to do, why I need to do it.
Yeah.
But on that one, other road users tell me what I need to do if they do come.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Right.
Now, even if it was totally and utterly perfect, I'm still going to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm not able to assess you. Which is why another one of the reasons where, you've asked me some questions there that a real live learner would have just gone, oh yeah, I'll check all around. But I'm saying, I don't know. What do you think you're going to do? Well, put in reverse. And this is where, if you're thinking of him as a learner driver, that's ridiculous, because of course he knows what to do. But if you think of him who's an assessor assessing your knowledge, he can't give you the answer to the question, because that's not assessing, that's assisting. And it's knowing that distinction. So it starts to make a bit more sense, I think, if you see it that way. He cannot give you the answer to that, because he's assisting you. And he's not there to assist, he's there to assess.
So what I did in that instance was that.
You just give me
Is
the
that
information. Okay? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm clearly not going to give you the answer, so give me it. And you also give me the why, because we're looking around for, which is fine.
Okay.
So have we got enough, do you think? What's your plan from this point forward?
Well, we'll drive up past the junction.
Okay. Back and roll.
Okay, Bob, so we'll prepare the car.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. Just before we do that, I just want to... I don't think I do that, I'm sure I put it in reverse and then...
Well,
obviously...
you probably do. But you're not going to...
just think that it don't feel comfortable to be able to do it.
I'll probably do the same. In reverse and then just shuffle around. But this is somebody who's doing this for the very first time. If you tell them to do that and then move around, that's going to happen. I guarantee it.
Which is why I started getting around, get used to.
Yeah. So into position first. Or if he is going to switch position, neutral, switch position, back in reverse. So don't take a chance on getting him to switch around while it's in reverse, because remember, he's never done this before. He's going to get it wrong.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, he might not, but I'd belt and braces.
No, it's. I thought I made smart here. I've covered it.
Oh yeah, it was very good.
Okay, so we're going to drive slowly past the junction, and we'll look into the junction. Just
Right.
remember what I said about try not to steer
Oh yeah.
to the left as you look up. And we're looking for what we're looking for as we pass it.
I've forgotten. There's a lot to remember, isn't there?
There is. We're looking to make sure there's actually room to carry out the manoeuvre.
Oh, yeah,
There's no
yeah,
vehicles
yeah.
parked near the corner,
Yeah.
or there's anything coming down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we pull up at the side of the road, just beyond the junction, if we have spotted a car coming down, obviously we'll wait just to see which way it's going, make sure it's clear before we start the manoeuvre.
All right.
Okay. While we're doing the manoeuvre, and while we're doing our checks, if any other vehicles do happen to come towards us or from behind, I'll just get you to stop, put it into neutral, and then we'll see what the other vehicles are doing.
Okay.
Usually they will drive past you,
Right.
but at the worst case, you may just have to abandon that particular move and just pull forward,
All
make
right.
the car safe,
Okay.
and let the vehicles pass us. And that's the same once we start backing into the junction. If something comes towards us, we'll probably have to abort it and pull back round and start
All right,
again. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, when you're ready, we'll just pull up beyond the junction, and we'll pull up just about. You see the first lamppost on the left?
Oh yeah.
If we pull up just by the side of that, on the road, about a foot away from the curb line.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I should stand first.
Forget to look into the road.
Oh, yeah, nobody about.
Pull just a little bit further in. That's fine. That's straight now. Gently to a stop. Okay. Secure the car into neutral. That bit too far out.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay. The other thing as well that we can benefit when we've looked into the road, we can see the shape of the road as well,
Oh yeah.
because it's just got a little bit of a curve on it as well.
Yeah.
So that's something to just take into account when we're going around the corner.
All right. Right.
Okay. So we'll just run through again just before we do it, very quickly. We're going to prepare the car, make yourself comfortable for doing the reverse. Okay, having done all your observations, make sure it's safe to do so.
I'll just come in a roll there. You can run me through there and you can give me a fantastic run through. I'm still going to mess it up. If you let me, I'm going to mess it up. So the only safe way is talk to me like I'm an idiot. Make sure I do what you want me to do.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if you don't, I'll cock it up.
Okay.
Big style.
Okay.
So I've already given you a little bit of a hint. I said, oh, there's a lot to remember, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was your prompt to say, don't worry,
I'm here
I'll
to.
talk you through it.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I'm going to help you through this. I'll talk you through it. What
All
we
right,
need to
okay.
do. Excuse me. So if we quick check round. Yep. If you set the vehicle into reverse gear.
All right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just put it back into neutral for me.
All right.
Okay. Need to get yourself ready to do the reverse manoeuvre. So can you remember the position that you need to be in?
yeah.
Yep, get yourself
Yeah, it was
comfortable.
like that, wasn't it?
That's it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So select reverse gear. Okay. Now, again, although you're in that position, we still need to do a check round, just make sure it's all safe
right,
to
yeah.
do. Okay. We'll just wait a moment for this van.
All right.
Just let him get out of the way. I've just out of roll. If this was live, you just keep waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not faced with a choice here, really.
Yeah. Okay. So do your all-round checks. And when you're one thing I haven't checked.
Good.
Okay. Back into neutral, please, Bob. I'd just like you to demonstrate. Just show me your clutch control.
Oh, okay.
So if you can just very slowly creep the car forward for me,
All right.
and then I'll get you to reverse. Okay. So don't forget your checks, all round checks. Always check over your shoulder. That's it. Just press your clutch down a little bit more. Okay. Now just barely so the car's rolling. You feel that?
All right.
That's the sort of speed we want to be doing when we go backwards.
Oh, that's really quite slow, isn't
So
it?
just stop the car into neutral. Sorry, handbrake on and neutral. Okay. And if you can just demonstrate the same in reverse.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do the same thing. So set yourself up, get yourself comfortable. Just reverse. Okay. So again, nice and slowly. That's it. You're barely letting it roll. Now we're on a little bit of a slope, so just cover your foot brake.
All right.
And don't let it get any faster than that. So just a little bit slower, slower, slower. That's as quick as we want to be going.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's really slow, isn't it?
It is. That gives us good control.
Okay.
That gives you time to react and do the steering. Okay?
Right.
Okay. So we'll just hold it there, put it handbrake on and into neutral for me. Okay, so happy with that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you know the speed we want
Very
to
slow,
go
isn't
up.
it?
Yep. You don't want to be speeding on that because it'd be very easy to get out of control. And especially in reverse, any movements on the steering wheel, if you're going quick, are going to be almost what's the word? Accentuated even more.
All right.
So it's going to really swing out.
All right.
So the idea is to keep it very slow. So if you do need to make any adjustments, you can do it under control, and if need be, you can stop without any panic. Okay.
Right. Right.
We don't want to be rushing in any sort of manoeuvres, and that'll be the same for when we do other manoeuvres, but we'll cover that.
Oh, okay.
But it's important to keep the car nice and slow and controlled.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so just looking out the back window, we're going to reverse around the corner.
Mhm.
So just as a guide, and we'll try this, how it works for you.
All right.
If you imagine, don't imagine, the top of the rear seat,
Mhm.
where the headrests are, head restraints. If you imagine drawing a line across that and out through this side window,
Yeah.
okay, as we go up towards the corner, you'll see where the curb line is. That'll just about meet the top of the seat.
All right.
And at that point, we're going to start turning.
Okay.
So you'll need to put a reasonable amount of left-hand turn on, left-hand lock,
Mhm.
okay? And then the car will start coming around.
Yeah.
And then when we've got to so at this point, we'll be at a position where we can start taking some of the steering lock off.
All right.
So we're bringing it back round to the right,
Mhm.
okay? Having done our observations.
All right. Right.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I'll help you with that.
Okay.
And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
So set yourself up, get yourself.
Just out of all that, while we're in this position, get me to pick a reference point.
Well,
So
see
that-
what you can see on
So
the curve.
that's what we're going to use when we get round the corner as well.
Okay, so so you're in your comfortable position for doing your reverse.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just tell me what you can see. You can see the curb line against the pavement and the
Oh,
road.
yeah. Yeah.
Where does that show up to you? Is it
It's
in
like
the middle
on
of the
there.
windscreen wiper?
No, it's where the line is at this end of it.
Okay, where the end of the little cap
the
is.
lumpy thing. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that can be your reference point.
Okay.
So you know that's how the car should look in this position. We're in a
Right.
nice straight line.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, when we get round the corner, we straighten up,
Mhm.
and you're looking back, you can use that as a guide
Ah.
that will lead you to show you where the car needs to be.
All right.
And that'll work, and that'll get you to a nice position, similar to where we are now.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
to try that?
Yeah.
Okay, so nice and controlled. All round checks. Okay, nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. Now, just be careful because you go out to the middle of the road a little bit. So, left hand lock, please, Rob. Okay, now try and get the car straight. Okay, just stop there and pull forward back to where we were. Just wait a moment. Handbrake on. It's gone off to the left. Okay, just set yourself back up to where we were at the side of the road, please, Bob. Okay, just into neutral. That's it. Right, we've just got to be careful because we're
We
going.
ended about, didn't we?
We did, yeah. That's okay. It's we can work on that. What's happening is because you're looking backwards, and it's partly, like I said, you know, when you look to the left,
Yeah.
and sometimes it will cause you to steer that way
Yeah.
because you're not in your natural position. You're looking. Your body's almost wanting to do that with the wheel, which it did, because you're doing that. So it's important to keep that line in line with the curb. So your reference point wants to be in line. So
Oh yeah, it
we're,
ended up.
we're sitting straight at the moment,
Yeah.
and you've set your steering wheel up.
Mhm.
So in theory, you're going straight back. So you shouldn't really have to move anything. So once you've set yourself up and you're sitting like that, that's how it should stay. So
Right.
just be careful of it going that way.
Right.
Okay. You can have a quick look in this mirror as well and see where the curb line is, and you'll see if you're starting to come out or go in as well. So you can use that as an aid to you as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just get you to go in a little bit further to the curb, 'cause we're a bit far out of that
Right.
one.
Right.
I was asking that out to roll.
No, we were fine where we were. It was
that
only,
been all right?
only a teeny bit wide.
Right.
Okay, so since we're at a roll, you've given me a reference point. I don't know what I'm doing with it. So what do I do if it comes out? Steer in. If it's in, steer out. So I was just like, oh. You then said left lock, so I put on a full left lock. So we need to steer in a bit. Just stop there. You did the right thing. Get me to stop. Where's your reference point? Oh, it's too far out. So what do you need to do about that? I'm not really sure. What if it drifts out? We need to just steer in a little bit. All right. Now when you do the straight line reverse, oh yeah, I remember now. So it's you know, you're in the realms of thick ore, really. So okay, our reference point said a little bit wide, isn't it? So what do we need to do about that? I don't know. Right, you need to steer in a little bit, but not too much, just enough to bring it back to where it was. So if it's too far out, steer in a bit. If it's too far in, steer out a bit. And we might need to constantly adjust. All right, okay. So you can just keep an eye on it. Where's your reference point? Oh, it's out. What do you need to do? I'm not sure. Steer in. So you've got him under control all the time. So again, he's testing that you can keep him safe
Yeah.
in this environment. Back and roll.
Okay. Okay. All round chicks. Got the lady with the dog here. Look.
Should I wait?
It's worth making sure. So just make sure your handbrake's on. It is under control. It is on a lead, but it's okay. You ready? So just remember to keep that reference point. So we're drifting out a little bit. So steer in. So that's it. And get it so that your reference points. Now just stop. Stop. Handbrake on into neutral. Okay, now carry on. So keep that reference point nice and straight with the curb. That's it, nice and slow. Slower than that, please. Slower than that. Okay, don't forget all round checks.
Oh. Oh, they're having a chat.
Start a roll. In this position,
Take control.
I would say just keep him stationary.
No,
Because it's, to me, I'd say,
we could be here a long time, couldn't
yeah, he's just going to set off now.
we? So now you'd wait. But
Yeah.
before, just carry on.
Could've
Just keep an
just-
eye on it. Yeah.
But once you
Chances
got,
are we could have been around the corner before he's gone. So
yeah, I just want,
it's balancing it.
yeah, okay.
You could ask him the question. So what do you think we should do here? He might go, I don't know. He might say, oh, I don't know, should I wait? Well, we can probably go back a little bit, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I say, oh, should I just carry on? Yeah, but we need to be aware that he might still be coming. So you're just bouncing back and forward.
Okay.
Back and roll.
Okay, so nice and slowly. Now, can you see the curb line on top of the seat? Does that help you at all?
Not quite, no.
Okay, so
can't
we need
see
to
it at all
so we
now.
need to start turning now. So we need to turn to the left. Okay. Not too much. Take some lock off. Just stop there. Just stop there. Okay. Just have a look around you. See what's happening. Over your right hand shoulder.
There's nobody
Okay.
about.
Okay, that's fine. Right. Just have a little look in your mirror. Just see what's happening. Can you see the curb line?
Oh, yeah.
We just start to get a little bit too close to it. So
Oh, right.
we just take a little bit of lock off. So So steer to your right a little bit. That's it, not too much. Okay, you're in straight ahead position at the moment, so just round to your left a little bit. Okay, slowly back at that. You'll get a feel for it. And we're just following the curb line round. Okay, just stop there a moment. We've got a car coming towards us.
Oh, right.
And brake on. Okay, all round check. Okay. So, nice and controlled again, like you were before.
All right.
A little bit more left lock. A bit more left lock. I'll guide you. I'll guide you. More left. More left lock, bub.
So I'll just come in a roll there. So that's great, but help me to learn about it. So you're making it happen there. So it's just say, okay, where are we now? Oh, we're a little bit wide. So what do you think you might need to do? I'm not sure. A little bit more left lock. That's the right level of instruction.
Right,
Like, just instructing me. I might be thinking, as the assessor and all, I probably could have managed that on my own if you'd given me the opportunity.
Okay.
So I was asked the question, so we're a little wide now. What do you think we can do about that? I don't know. Would I steer in a little bit? Let's try that and see what happens. So you can get involved in it that way, but it's finding the right level of instruction can be difficult. But that's not
Right,
bad.
okay.
You're
Yep.
keeping on top of me, which is great.
Yeah, okay.
Back and roll.
Okay. Okay, don't forget to check around you, Bob.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Now just stop a moment, just have a look at where we are. Where do you think we are?
We're out a bit, aren't we?
Okay, so what do we need to do? Get us closer to the curb.
But I steer in a bit.
Just watch to your right. Indication. Okay.
So you're
Steer
just
to your
steering
right.
a bit.
Yeah, you want to steer in, so
Oh, a bit.
that's it, yeah. So try that. Nice and controlled. That's it.
Oh,
Nice and
I can
steady.
see the curb again. now.
Okay. Again, just remember to do checks are all around you.
All right.
So obviously there are quite a few vehicles on this one. Okay. Now keep looking behind you. Just stop there. Just stop there. Okay. So as we head back now, you need to be looking out towards the back of the car.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And then use your reference point
Oh,
to
it's
guide
too
you.
far in,
Okay. So what we need to do now?
yeah. Out a bit.
That's it. We've got the opposite way now. Nice and steady. That's it. Try and get your reference point. And if it helps you, just have a little check in your near side mirror. You see where the curb is.
Oh, that's handy.
But while you're reversing, look out through the back
Oh.
window. That's just for a quick reference, a quick check. Okay. That's it. It's a nice speed, nice and controlled. Okay, just keep going back at that. That's lovely. So we need to get it in line with the curb now. So what do we need to do?
Oh, out a bit.
That's it. Okay. Stop there. Just have a little look. Are you happy with that? What do we need to do? Are we straight?
Not quite.
Not quite. So just check your reference point and we'll just get the car.
No, it's a bit too
So in
far
the
in.
straight line, so what do we need to do?
Out a bit.
Opposite way. We need to go in a bit.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Keep pushing it out. Yeah, in a bit more. What's happening to the back?
Oh, yeah, it's coming out a bit.
Okay. So just find your reference point again.
Yeah, that's it, I think.
Okay, now we've gone out a little bit. Just stop. Have a look where we are at the front. Slightly awkward because you're on a bit of a curve,
Oh,
so it's a
right.
bit awkward on this one.
Oh, right, yeah, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Okay.
No window.
Just out roll.
Go on then.
How far do you want me to take you back?
This will be fine.
Yeah.
So, it's put up bad, are we? First attempt.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Tell me of your experience there. How many times did you want to punch me?
No, it's not about that. It's it's the bits that you think you've covered.
Yeah.
And the glaring. Once you've said it, it's glaring. Obviously, I should have done that bit.
But it's also the stuff like, I came down the road there and I held my reference point all right. I've got around the corner and now I can't do it. And it's part of me assessing that you can keep me safe here. It's going wrong. What are you going to do about it? And thankfully you did exactly the right thing, which is stop. Nothing more can go wrong now while this car is stationary. What's happening here? Now, if I give you the answer, great. If not, you tell me what to do. And you've controlled it. We've gone round. On this next attempt, you need to determine how much help's going to be required. It might just be a prompt this time, or it might be that you've got to fully talk him through it again.
Okay.
You're going to give him the option. He's probably going to just say to you, well, I don't know, just whatever you think, really. That's, again, because he doesn't want to assist from within role.
Okay.
He's not behaving like a real learner would, because a real learner would say, could I have a go on my own? Or they'll say, well, just help me a little bit. Because it's an assessment of whether you can transfer responsibility to me, you have to make those judgment calls. Is it safe to transfer that responsibility to me at this point in time? So, how do you think that went in terms of your development?
I felt more relaxed explaining it to you.
Mm-hmm.
More comfortable than I did, say, on the first one yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Again, you're getting comfy in your own skin. Raymond, I want to go out and play on my motorbike tonight.
Crazy.
That's...
And it's just making sure I've got everything in the right order, and realising that hopefully I'm getting the safety bit, so that I am stopping you when it gets wrong, and helping you. I'm very consciously trying not to do any sort of criticism, because I've got to realise that a person may have never been in a car before or whatever, and for whatever reason, and it's down to don't judge them, because I'm not a perfect driver, so.
Well, I don't think
it's how you help you, because one of the things when I had that shot doing assessing at the last company, when I got in with the drivers, I said, I'm here to try and help you, and see if there's anything we can do better. Not to say, well, I've been told your fuel consumption's rubbish, so I want to find out why you're driving poorly.
It's a slightly different, slightly different situation. Yeah, in as much as this guy's an assessor, he's not a real live learner driver, so the same things don't necessarily apply. And I think the clue is in the title. This is a test of your instructional ability. You're not being tested on your coaching skills at all here. So if you had to deliver a message that was uncomfortable for this person, whose driver was unsafe, they don't care that you dress it up nice. They're not bothered. Their primary concern is safety. That's all they're interested in.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So
in terms of using the presenter, that seems to work for you well now. We're working our way through.
I was happy with that, because it's. I spent a bit of time on that last night, looking at some of the DVD sort of formats, as to how to use it and hopefully to show it towards you.
Almost got yourself caught up in delivering another brief at that point, but stopped yourself, which is great. Well done.
I know it's that far. How far do you go with this?
Well, that's right. It's difficult, isn't it? And that's one of the things.
That's what these will do, because if nothing else, the more times you physically do like this manoeuvre, then it'll stick in. Right, I know instinctively I've got to check for this, and this, and probably rely less on that, other than to say here's a visual of.
Sure, and you used it well, but that's the downside of presenters. They can drag you into that, but you stopped yourself at that point. I was just in role as the examiner, or the assessor. I was just about to start giving it the and look out the window. So I'm giving you this signal that you've told me this. Don't tell me a second time. Don't tell me a second time. Or you would just say, oh yeah. What I would do is, so either way you'll play it. There'll be a clear indication that you're not giving them what's required. Absolutely. And I've seen it on exam where if a candidate's doing really well and you start faltering with this, the examiner will. I've seen them come out of roll. I don't need another brief. Back and roll. Oh, okay. And the candidate on test then thinks they've failed because of that. You haven't. That's not the way it is.
But it's so easy. It's going to be so easy to slip into it, isn't it? Because you just think,
I'll just cover this a bit more. Just give you this extra piece of information.
Did I actually tell you that? So I better just make sure.
But you're getting the opportunity to put things right, and as you've seen, all the stuff that you've told me to do, I've got wrong, and you've had to control it because they're using that role to assess whether you can keep me safe in a live risk environment. We're surrounded by risk all the time. Classic one was the van that was at the top. Okay, that's a risk, but it's not a risk just now. What are we going to do about it? We learn to manage it. Okay, well, let's just keep an eye on him so we can, we'll make the decision to perhaps carry on, but let's just take extra observation because of that extra danger.
Yeah.
All right. You've done the right thing by getting me to stop every time. If you try and get me to do the observations while I'm moving, I'm going to have you on the grass. And you also kept your eye on me a lot. There wasn't much opportunity for me to do my observations when you weren't looking at me, because that's another classic one. You look around there, I'll look around and you say, do your observations. I did. Now you're in an argument. No, so how do you feel in terms of, if you got that on test, if it was your test tomorrow and you got that, how do you think you'd do?
I'll be quite comfortable with it.
Okay, cool.
How do you feel?
I'm not telling you. It's nice.
I don't know if I make any progress.
Guess. I'll do you a written report the week after next on the Tuesday. The most important thing at this point is really getting you comfortable in your own skin and getting used to all the materials and the practices and principles and the procedures on test, and learning to understand what the test's all about, really. That it is just an assessment. He's nowhere near a learner driver. And if you think of him that way, fry your head. And we'll train for the real world. Well, we've already done some of that, haven't we? In other sessions, but we'll train for the real world afterwards. Because the stuff you've done here, you would never need to do that with a learner driver. Never, not in a million years. Because learner drivers are quite smart. Examiners are very smart too, but they're playing the role of somebody who isn't, in order to assess whether you've got the right information and whether you can keep me safe. That's what it's all about, you know. The register of instructors was set up because it was felt, I've probably told you this 1,000 times before, it was felt that instruction that was being delivered in the UK was not safe and it wasn't consistent. So they needed this test to be able to make sure that you were able to keep me safe and everybody around us safe, give me the right information, and make sure that you put the right attitudes towards safety into me, really, and didn't let me do things that were unsafe.
What do you feel about the way I deliver it?
I think you've got a lovely relaxed style. It's nice. You come across very gentle, yet confident. You know that there's the tone in your voice that, look, I do know what I'm talking about, because clearly you do. You know, you passed part 2 with no minors. You know what you're doing. You must have a cracking trainer.
Thank you, IAM.
Brilliant! I love it. No, it's really starting to take shape. And you're starting to develop, if you like, your own style now.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So your personality's shining through. You know, you have a lovely, gentle nature, and that's coming through. Yet you're still able to, you know, speak with authority, which is good. So it's
okay.
I think on that note, we'll treat you to a cup of tea.
Okay. You want to try that manoeuvre again?
No. Well, I mean, we can if you want, but I don't feel the need to, because you are on top of me.
Okay.
The main thing that goes wrong at this point is you just let candidates just let things happen, and then you're in a right mess. Because all of those points, if you hadn't stopped me, I was going to create carnage. I'd either been on the other side of the road, or I'd have been on the grass. Where we were heading, I'd wound quite a bit of steering on, and we would have been up on the both wheels would have been on that grass.
And that's why I'd seen in there.
He said, just check in the mirror. All right then. So then start reversing, looking in the mirror, and you stop me. Otherwise, I'd have just done that, and then I'd put the back end out here.
Yeah.
So it's just being alert and alive to what's happening here.
But the biggest difference I've noticed, well, with this particular manoeuvre, is if I think back to when we were out with Kev, and we did which one was it now? I think it was just a setting off and stopping. And it was when Kev was in it, and you went all over the road, because you did exactly what you've just been describing. But being in this position, because I would have been tempted, I'd have been looking there. Like I say, I wouldn't have seen whatever you're doing. But just, it's a little bit uncomfortable for a while, but I can see exactly what's happening, because I'd sort of spotted what was happening in this corner.
Yeah.
And then said, well, use that as a guide.
Yeah.
So, but that's, again, it was just when you started backing up, and I thought, hang on, your head's pointing this way a bit too long here.
Well, there was a point as we came back to the corner where I had decided that reference point wasn't going to work for me, the top of the seat. Whether it did or it didn't, I decided in roll, it's not going to work for me. And you were alive to it, you'd spotted it straight away. Where are we now? Oh, we're a bit wide. Okay, so that's... And you didn't bother getting involved in, okay, well, that didn't work, we need to do this. Okay, let's just steer it a little bit more. Let's tug it around. But of course, it did lead you to then almost over-instructing a bit. So we found the balance there. But that's so. For me, I'm happy that you're on top of that, and that when we come back to it, which we surely will.
So on that then, where I said, right, you need to steer a bit further out. Should I just sort of pass that back to you and say, well, what do you think you need to do now?
I think it's always worthwhile asking the question, because you give the examiner in role, as an assessor, the opportunity to give you the answer because he wants to move on. He wants to move to doing something else wrong, so he'll fix that and move on to something else. If he feels that, yeah, you're on top of this, I'm not going to labour the point. He'll give you the correct answer, sort that out and work on something else. Okay, you're going to spot what I'm doing now. Which is why it can seem very surprising somebody who's been totally rubbish at something will suddenly fix it. Because, yeah, you've given me enough there. You've spotted the fault, you've analysed it, and you've corrected it. So it's you know, the next attempt would have been a lot better. And had time permitted for a third attempt, it would have been bang on.
But I suppose what will be useful, because I guess how we're going to do it is sort of hop in and out of different ones, maybe in 2 days' time. So, right, let's just go back to the reverse around the corner, and see what I've retained. And
I mean, there's, you know, we can, if we get a day where the weather's really poor, we can just spend time over a cup of tea just rattling through briefs. Whatever works for you, really.
Yeah.
You know,
But these live things are so useful because it's, you know, it's some of the obvious things, you know, like setting your body up in the correct position before putting it in gear, how to deal with the cars that's coming around you, and passing a bit more responsibility to you.
Yeah.
Because you don't realise, you know, I was just thinking, yeah, I just want to help you around this corner, blah, 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 blah. And you're just telling me what to do.
Which is okay, because you know, that would work, because you can then say, okay, I've got you to do that now. Now we need to get you to do it. But you can do it in a way that you are offering the opportunity for the learner to develop, to decide for themselves. It's up to the assessor in role then whether he takes that.
Yeah, because I suppose when we did the little exercise where you drifted away from the curb, and we said, right, you need to steer in or steer out, use that example, say, okay, we're going to have it, what we're doing now, what do you think we need to do?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, makes sense.
So you can look at these things as well, the PSTs. I mean, I know we're being PST specific, but we're not making any bones about it. We're preparing it only for the test.
Yeah.
You can look at the PSTs and think, okay, on the drive to the location, what might be the fault he might commit? And you can start a second guess.
Well, I thought straight away the clutch control's got to be a biggie. I should have thought about positioning. I didn't spot that at all, so that's... But that'll lead into a lot of the other manoeuvres we're doing as well, won't it?
I mean, if my clutch control was going to be bad here, it would have been as lumpy as hell on the way here. It's, you know, there's a million and one different ways you can play it as the assessor in role. You just make your mind up beforehand what you're going to do and do it. If you get busted on that immediately and you start controlling me on it, well, okay, I'll stop doing that. I'll do something else then.
So when I got you to do the sort of forward and reverse clutch control, is that right? This is the speed I want it at.
You've limited my opportunities there, and I'm not going to say, okay, you've taught me to do that, and I understand now how to do that. I'm not then going to get that wrong. That would be silly.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be fair.
And if needs be, if it got a bit fast, I could, I suppose, introduce the...
Stop.
Yeah. Do you remember what I said about clutch control? And why do we do that? Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Well done. Cup of tea time.
Thank you.
So, phase 2. The PST4, phase 2, T-junctions emerging. All you do is you say, okay, that concludes the phase 1. Give me a few moments while I mark my notes up. For phase 2, it will be T-junctions emerging. And then I'll leave you to it. You'll then come back and say, okay, what I'd like you to assume is that I'm a pupil at the partly trained stage, at the trained stage. I've got my test in a couple of weeks. And my last instructor said we needed to have another look at like T-junctions emerging because there was some stuff you wanted to have a look at there. My name's Dave. Over to you.
I'll just give you a bit of time just to compose yourself, yeah?
Take your time and get yourself ready. If you feel the need, get out of the car, stretch your legs, get back in. Okay. Clear your head from phase 1 because he's a different guy now.
Okay, afternoon, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Andy, I'm your instructor.
Hi, Andy.
I've been asked to give you a little bit of help with T-junctions today. I understand
So that's what we're going to look at, yeah.
instructor's not available today and you've got your test coming up in a couple of weeks, is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Have you done much work with T-junctions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done quite a bit. Yeah.
And has your instructor highlighted any problems that he thinks you've got?
He just said he needed to have another look at them before the test.
So nothing specific?
No.
Okay. Okay, what we're going to do, we'll head out. Best way is for me to have a look at your driving,
All right,
your style,
okay.
and just see if there's anything I can help you with, and see if I can pick up, hopefully identify what it is your instructor thinks may be a problem with you. Okay. So just before we go out on the road, you're happy with the regular checks that you need to do for normal road driving, how to approach a junction?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So if we come out to the junction itself, it's obviously a hazard. So what would you carry out? What safety checks?
Well, that's that being mirror signal manoeuvre routine, isn't it?
Yeah, okay. And just as a sort of recap for me, why would you be doing that?
Just to make sure it's safe, isn't it? So everybody knows what I'm up to.
Okay. So are you happy with the different types of junctions? Do you understand if I said to you an open junction or a closed junction? Do you understand the difference in that terminology?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's an open junction?
So that's where you've got like a good view.
Okay, and an open junction, would you have to stop?
Depends, I suppose. If there's nobody about, no.
Okay, and what about a closed junction?
That's where you've got like buildings or trees or that sort of stuff, isn't it, where you can't really see properly.
Okay, so just using this as an example, if this was a junction we were going to come out of, what do you think the potential hazards are immediately around us?
Well, it's the cars there, isn't it?
Okay, and what problems would that cause? What sort of dangers might we get?
My car's coming this way, cars coming that way, might come over onto my side of the road.
That's it, yeah.
They might pull away, although I don't think there's anybody in them.
And what else? The sort of practical side of it.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, potentially it's going to restrict the amount of room you've got to turn out.
Of course, yeah.
Because it could be a slightly narrow road, as this is.
Right,
So it can restrict, so you've got to take that into consideration.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay. So just out of roll.
Okay.
How was that?
Well,
Covered many things.
The thing is, I'm not in roll. I'm not going to give you any real help. You've asked me the question. Do you know the difference between open and closed? Yep. So you haven't left it at that. You've pursued it further.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of it. So you're making sure. So you're testing the knowledge there, making sure that there's no holes in that. You've covered closed to open, zones of vision. You can maybe close. You've covered MSM. The only other thing really is about what sort of observations is he going to take. But even if he tells you what he's going to do is, correct, he's probably not going to do that. So all you can really do is just have a brief chat, satisfy yourself that he's got the basics in place, and then have a look.
Yeah.
See what happens. And again, always worth asking the question, have you driven away from here before?
Because when
You're probably
we're
on
going
the
to
open
set
road
off
somewhere.
from like where we parked before, for
Correct.
example, that's where we would set off from.
So the first thing we would be doing would be taking the T-junction we've just come out of. Have you driven from here before? No. He's just reversed in. But that's a different people.
Yeah.
So it's always worthwhile asking, are you familiar with this area? Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been around here before. It's always worth just asking the question. It doesn't cost anything.
So I need to remember to ask that then.
But if you're sat with the T-junction in front of you, so this is the T-junction we're coming out here, tell me what your thoughts are on this. Is this open or is this closed? What are you going to do? How's that going to work? What about this? What about that? Now, did I give you that little fault-finding flow chart?
Yes.
I did, okay.
Yeah.
That's obviously the territory that we're in now. I'm going to deliberately make a mistake. I need to see whether you've spotted it, whether you've analysed it, and whether you've put in place some remedial or preventative action. That's what it's all about here. Just those areas. If we focus on those, everything else should. If you get those right, the rest will fall into place. Your control, your planning, your level of instruction, they should all be right. Otherwise, the core comps aren't going to be high.
Yeah.
So, you could talk to them about there. How much of a gap do you need? You can go to the nth degree, but you just got to be careful you don't get involved in a brief, which you haven't done, which is great. You could be taught about what sort of things are we looking for, what hazards are we looking for at T-junctions, how big a gap do we need from either side to emerge, do you know? And in reality, he has to give you the right answer because he's had a lesson on this. This is not his first lesson on this. There's only one subject on phase 2 that requires a brief, and and even then sometimes it doesn't, and that's reverse parking. You'll probably say, oh yeah, I've had a go at it before. But you might want a brief on it, but it's unlikely. And even if he does want a brief, he's got a lot of experience. He's done all the other manoeuvres. This is the last one he's going to do.
Right. Okay.
So as long as you've satisfied yourself that you've covered the basics, it's not a big deal because there's no brief to mark here. So you're just trying to find out a little bit about him.
So it wouldn't matter too much because I didn't cover that about the gaps.
Well, you're going to get the chance, aren't you? Cause
yeah.
I mean,
so I'm saying it wouldn't matter at this point
not.
where I sort of said, well, let's consider what's happening directly in front of us as an example.
Well, you did, which was all right. So all right, and I've given you the right answers. So, all right, okay. So, is this open or is it closed? Well, it's open at that side, closed at that side.
Yeah.
All right. So what does that do in terms of your observation? Well, I need to be more careful that way. How will you do that? Well, I'll go a bit slower. He's going to give you the right answers.
Yeah.
So the only real way of finding out is get on the move.
Okay. Right then, Dave. We'll set off and
Okay.
we'll find an area to practice on some junctions.
All right. Okay.
We did classics practice or just review.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter how you describe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, practice.
Okay.
We'll have a look at your driving and see if there's anything we can help you with. Standard thing again, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to set the car up for me, get yourself ready.
Yep. That's
Happy with
about
that?
it. Yep.
Okay. Okay, when you're ready.
Left out of here and right at the end of the road.
Okay, so I'm going to turn left out of this car park and then if you turn left at the end of the road, please, Dave.
Right at the end of the road.
Right. We'll turn right at the end of this road when we've pulled out, please, Dave. Just remember to do your mirror signal manoeuvre
Oh, yeah.
in the correct order.
To the next road on the left.
Okay, we're going to take the next road on the left, please, Dave. Okay, just pull up on the left somewhere safely and convenient, please, Dave. Okay, into neutral, just switch the engine off for a moment. Okay. Okay, that wasn't too bad. We'll just pick up on something just on the junction we've come round there. Just a little bit wide and just a little bit fast on the approach to it.
All right.
So we're going to be coming around that corner around 10, 15 miles an hour, no more,
All right.
and under a bit more control.
Oh,
Just
okay.
a little bit faster around there, so it was pushing us out. So I want to be nice and steady. Your foot was off the clutch in time just before we went round the corner.
All
It was right on the limit. So you're sort of steering as we went round, and that allowed us to go a little bit wide.
All right.
So
right.
just by taking that bit extra speed off, give you a bit more control, so you're coming down on a nice level keel with the line of the curb as we come round.
Oh, all
Does
right.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Just start rolling.
Okay.
Is there anything else I should have picked up on that?
No, it's the position is the problem. Speed, probably all right, but the position isn't right. So I now know, as the assessor, tick, you've spotted the fault. Tell me about remedial action.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Tell me about analysis.
Okay. So we're coming around wide on the junction. What do you think? Are there any possible consequences of that by us going wide around the corner?
I don't know.
Well, have a think about, say, this car that's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
As we came round the corner, if that car, you should just look now, where it's turning right,
Yeah.
and we come a bit wide around that corner. What are the possibilities?
Oh, I suppose we'd be a bit close together then, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we've got chance of having an impact, haven't we?
Right, I see what you're saying.
So it's important to have the right line on the approach,
Yeah.
and as we go around the junction, and under control.
Right.
Because if needs be, if we've got the speed right, if you need to, you can stop. Okay.
Okay, so you've spotted the fault, we've analysed it, so you've made me aware of it. I'm now aware why it's a problem. What else might I need? Because I can go...
Chance to rectify it.
Yeah.
So,
But I need to know how to rectify it. So that's part of your analysis. How are we going to stop that happening? Because it's all very well and good, because I'll come around and say, oh... It's very easy for me as the assessor to just go, oh, I've done it again. I hear what you were saying before. Yeah, it's a bad idea, I know that. I'm just not sure why it's happening.
so I'll get it to carry on and just give you a bit of a prompt, say, just remember to...
I would do it all while he was sat still. So you've... Brilliant. Well done with the car. Excellent use of what's around you. So if you'd come around and went, oh yeah, I'd be a bit close to him. Oh, so, okay, you've spotted the fault. You've made me aware, because of the consequences, that, oh, that is a bad idea, but I need to know how to stop it. So as part of your analysis, and then leading into remedial action, so what can we do to stop that happening, do you think? Oh, I don't know. Well, we need to start steering. I'm not steering correctly at the right position. Also, when we came out of the T-junction to turn right, my position wasn't right there either. I was too far in on the line. So it's a position fault.
Right, I didn't spot that. Okay.
That's okay, it doesn't matter. You're onto it with this one. You'll be more aware of it looking for the others. So it's... You've spotted it. You've partly analysed it. But we've also got to think, okay, we know that's a fault now. We accept that it's a fault. I understand why that's a fault. How am I going to fix it? So that's part of your analysis in my head. Okay, so how are we going to stop that happening? And then your remedial is you making sure that I do what we said we're going to do. By talking me through it, perhaps even like it's the first time I've ever done it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so reset. You've spotted the fault. You've pulled me over. You've told me about it. I'm going, all right. You've made me aware of the consequences by demonstrating it clearly to me that, oh, all right. Pick up from there, back and roll.
Okay, so to help you going forward, and to give you an understanding of why we need to be in the correct position, what we need to look at is you losing that bit of speed earlier,
okay.
Ready for the junction.
Right.
So, ideally, if you were driving along this bit of road, pretty much this gap we've got between here and the junction to the left,
Oh, yeah.
you should be getting your speed really well down, around to 10, 15 miles an hour, and you should get it into suitable gear, which would be second
Okay.
for this corner.
Yeah.
Okay, which is with your foot off the clutch before we start turning in.
Right.
Okay, so when we're ready to just come up to the corner, and we'll start to steer round, following the line of the curb as we go round. But before we actually do the turn, as you would with any other junction, have a quick look into the junction,
All right.
just to make sure what we're looking for.
Well, there might be somebody around there.
Exactly. And if there was something parked on the opposite side of the road, what's the potential?
Cars might come on my side.
Exactly. So it comes back to what I was talking about earlier.
Right.
You need the ability to stop. Okay, so you'd be in full control before getting to the junction.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Right.
So what we'll do, we'll just have another drive. We'll see how you get on with that.
Okay.
Do you want me to prompt you?
You can if you like.
Right, just that roll.
Okay. He's going to
Not
just
the-
say that. You can if you like. Yeah,
That's the
I
wrong
will prompt
question.
you. But what are you going to prompt me? Now, this is the interesting little moment here. Because you've talked to me about the speed and approach. You've told me about I've got to have the into second gear. I've got to have my clutch up, and then we're going to follow the line of the curb around.
So from the instruction side, I'm going to turn left. What are you thinking? What's your process?
So the problem that we've got is that you're treating the symptom and not the cause. The cause is I don't know when to turn. It's not the speed.
Right, okay.
So I do not know how to position myself. So it's very easy to do that, and if you taught me through it, I'd have got my speed down and I'd have cocked it up again. You're then left thinking, what? Why is he doing that? We've just talked about this, where you're not actually getting to the root of it. I have a reason in my mind why this fault is being committed, and it's that I don't know how to judge when to turn. So unless you uncover that, you're never going to fix it. And you can go round and round and round, and it happens so often to people. They're sat on the test thinking, he's done it again. We've just talked about this. Why has he done it again? It's very simple. If he does it again, the fault is with you. You have not discovered what the problem really is. So he's just replicating the fault over and over and over, and you're banging on about the speed
Yeah.
and being in the gear and not coasting, and that's got nothing to do with it. I don't know when to judge, when to turn. So, if it's a position like this,
The reference point.
tell me how you're judging when you're going to turn. Oh, I don't know, I'm just guessing. Right, is that working for you? Oh, well, I suppose not. Now, when you're in the analysis phase, he will engage in a bit of client-centered. Oh, I don't know, I suppose I could do this. Well, what about that one? I don't know, I'm not sure. Or he might just go, I don't know, whatever you think. But you've just got to be live to the fact that there's a problem here, and if the problem persists, you have not cured it. You've not discovered what's causing this
Right.
problem. So you've hit me with speed, which is great, and I'm sure you did talk me through it beautifully, and I'd have done exactly what you wanted me to do, and then I'd have cocked it up again because I'm not sure. The classic one is cutting the right-hand corner. I sat in on a test recently, and we went over and over. I said, "Now you've cut the corner there, have I?" "Yeah." "Well, that's not a good idea, is it not?" "No." "Why do you think it's a bad idea?" "Well, I don't know." "Well, what would happen if there was somebody around that corner parked?" "Oh, I hadn't thought of that." "What if there was some kids playing?" "Oh my word, yeah." "Oh yeah, it's not a good thing to do, is it?" Candidate sat there, thinks, tick, job sorted, goes up, cuts the corner again. He said, "Oh, we just talked about that." "Oh, we did, didn't we?" He said, "No, what did we say?" "Oh, we said it was a bad idea." He said, "Do you not agree with me?" "Oh no, yeah, I do. I think it is a bad idea. I can see that. I can clearly see that. You've made that point to me. I just don't know why it's happening." Now that's the examiner in role saying, "Come on, finish the job off.
Yeah.
You're on me. You've got it. You've spotted it. You've given me the consequences, but you've not found out why it's happening." And then he eventually sort of got it. He said, "Why? How are you judging when to turn?" He said, "I'm just guessing." "Would it help if I gave you a reference point?" "Well, if you think so." It gives them the reference point, talks them through it. We go back round the block. Is it fixed? No, because he's made it happen. He hasn't. So once you've talked them through it, right, how did that feel? "Oh, that's better. So using that reference point works for you." "Yeah. Do you want to try doing that on your own now?" Now you've passed the responsibility.
Right.
So it's not like it is with learner drivers. Spot the fault. Make him aware that he's got the fault. If he's not aware that it's a fault, tell him that it's a fault. Does he know what the consequences are? No. If he doesn't, if he does, he'll tell you. If no, tell him. Make him aware. Is he aware of how he can fix it? No. Tell him. Is he aware how to do it on his own? Yes. No. If it's no, fix it. So we're gradually transferring it, and it's all about eliminating these risks. So the risk is here because I'm out of position, because I'm not judging it properly. Where if we look at the speed and stuff, yeah, you're barking at the wrong tree. So when you're talking about position things especially, how are you judging when to turn? "Oh, well, I'm just sort of guessing." "Okay, well, that's not really working for us, is it? So we need to find a different way of doing it. What do you think we could do?" "I don't know. Here's something you can try." Talking through it. "How was that?" "Oh, that's better." "Okay, when we come around again, do you still want some help with that? Do you want to try it on your own?" "I'll give that a go on my own." And take the next turning on the left. Take the next turning on the left. Tell me how you're going to judge. Now we've got it going, and you've got it nailed, and that's a 6.
Yeah.
When you tick all them boxes, that's a 6, because you've spotted the fault, you've analysed it, you've got him to do it, you've then transferred the responsibility to him. That's the job done. To get to that point, you need to control and plan the activities, and that's what that little flow chart's all about. And if you do that, you're leading to success at the end. If you only do part of it, you're going to go round and round and round with the same fault happening again and again. It'll drive you nuts.
Yeah.
It's so common. The vast majority of part 3 failures, I say, just kept making the same mistake. I told him about it. He agreed it was a bad thing to do, but he kept doing it. Well, why does he keep doing it? Well, because it's not fair. You're not doing what you need to do. So it's once you start seeing it in those terms, it becomes clearer. So if you've had this conversation and I make the same mistake, the fault is with you, not with me. I'm consistent. I'm continually doing the same thing.
But it's so
For the
easy
same
to
reason.
think that I've told you that, but
Yeah.
like I say, what's your reference
You think,
point?
well, why are you doing that? A learner driver who had just discussed this with you and said, "Oh yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, would just fix it." But this guy isn't. So he wants to see that you can keep him safe. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Because it's just, and it's all these little bits where you've maybe got 80-85% of it, and it's that bit you think, what on earth have I missed? I think I've explained it all. And then yeah.
Hitting on the reason why it's happening is the difference between a 3 and a 4.
Yeah.
What you do with it once you've discovered that is the difference between a 4 and a 6. Or a 4 and a 5 and a 6. So you've only part done the job. Yes, you've spotted the fault. Yes, you've done the analysis. You have probably put in place some preventative action, but it's not cured. He cannot do it on his own. He does not understand what's happening. So you haven't really finished the job off. So, it is a very simple thing. Just those core comps, spot it, analyse it, make sure it doesn't happen again, make sure he can do it on his own. So it's not enough just to prevent it. We have to have remedial.
Sure,
we have to cure it.
Okay.
So before you can cure it, you need to know what the cause is, not the symptom. So that's always think of it in terms of that. Why'd that happen? See if you can get him to tell you why it happened. He's not going to play like, I don't know. All right, let's have a look at what we did so far. Is that working for you? Tell me about how you're doing this. Tell me about your speed and approach. Do you think slowing down would help? Well, yeah, probably. Let's try that then. And it doesn't work. You haven't hit on the reason. If whatever's happened has still happened again, you have not uncovered the reason for it happening. That's dead simple. But it's dead hard in that seat.
Yeah.
So, do you want to reset that and try again?
Yeah, okay.
So you've just pulled me over, spotted the fault. You've pointed out beautifully, very well done, with that car that was down there, why it's a problem.
Just put a thought in my head as to what I'm going to give you as a reference point to.
It isn't a slap, is it?
Poke it in the eye. So, okay, so we've just had a good example there of the dangers of coming around wide on the junction.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So we need to understand how we can remedy that.
All right, okay.
And part of that's the positioning as well as the speed going around the actual corner.
Right.
So as you're approaching a corner, what do you use as a reference? How do you know when to start turning?
Well, just sort of follow the road around, really.
Okay, and do you use any part of the car to guide you as to, right, I know at this point I need to start turning?
No, not really, no.
So you're sort of guessing, really?
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you think that's a safe way of going around? Just guessing?
I'm sort of getting around all right, I think. It's just...
Well, if we just go back to the example of the car at the junction,
Oh, yeah, no,
if you do that on every junction, at some point we're going to have an impact, aren't we?
Well, I suppose it's not, is it really?
Okay, so let's find a way to help you
All right, okay.
to get around consistently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems like a good
So,
idea.
what you might find, and just out roll here,
Go on.
I'm going to suggest, because again, it's one of these things I haven't really thought about, because I do it day in, day out, as to how much to use as a reference point
Okay.
going around a corner.
Okay.
I'll have a look on the way home, but so maybe we're using the centre of the windscreen or the washers, whatever it might be,
Okay.
to say, okay, as you're approaching, now would be the time to start putting some steering input in. But then you've got a danger of you then bringing the eye line probably down there.
That's why I don't like reference points, personally. However, they do work because it's a guide. It's a guide to effect change. Now, the big difference that's happened this time in what you've done is you've told me about that's a bad idea, and I was resisting. So you said, well, you can see that, oh yeah, it is a bad idea. You've now got me to agree that it needs fixing. Oh yeah, I think it would be, because you've said, well, so you're just guessing. Well, I suppose I am really. So we could do with them, yeah, I can see that. So that's a goal for me.
Yeah.
So we're in pure terms, that's coaching. You've got me to accept that should be a goal that we should work on. Once you've got to that point, then we can start the process of fixing it. It's a bit warm for that.
It's probably just nick something.
Yeah, the sirens in a minute. Brilliant.
Never catch me alive, copper.
So, go ahead.
Will you do it at slow speed first?
It's never going to hurt, is it?
And then build up the speed?
It depends what you mean by slow speed. If you're planning on getting me down to 3 miles an hour.
Because part of me is thinking, if he's sort of 2 weeks away from a test, he should be reasonably competent.
Yes.
So,
I don't think taking a little bit of speed off, a couple of miles an hour as we come into a junction is a problem. But slowing me down to 10 miles an hour to do one that you could clearly do at 15 is probably not right.
yeah.
So it's just a case of alerting me to what I need to do different. Finding things that are perhaps going to work. So you give him a reference point. it'll work or it won't. It'll just give them something to focus on and say, all right, now I know when to turn. And you can try it, then you see, well, does it work? If it doesn't work, try something else.
Okay.
Bit of live experimentation,
Yeah.
experiential learning.
All right. So what we'll try, and we'll just use this junction as an example.
All right, okay.
We'll set off from the curb, and we'll turn left. We'll just keep it in first gear, just for now, because we haven't got a long distance to go.
Okay.
And
Now, a slight problem with that is that he's going to dictate the route, but I was going to go left here anyway.
right.
So he may say to you, I'll dictate the route, I'm afraid. So you might
Oh,
be
of course.
going right
Even
next.
though I'm picking him up on a fault.
Yeah, yeah. But as it happens, we are going to go left here. But that's out of roll.
So, right, if that was the case, then
Next junction we come to, we will.
right, okay. So when the opportunity arises, we'll take the next turning on the left, if it's suitable. Place must be at the top of the hill. And we'll try this junction again, bearing in mind speed, and we'll look at some sort of reference point that might help you
All right, okay.
to determine the point when you need to start turning. You comfortable with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, if you get yourself ready. So just, shall I have done this before? Do I need to recap and just say, just bear in mind what we talked about possible cars, or we just say that as read?
Well, I'm going to turn left now on this junction. What's going to happen?
We're probably going to try and go wide,
I'm going to. Yeah. Why would I do that?
because you want me to remedy the fault.
You haven't told me what the reference point is. If you let me go live into it, I'm going to cock it up again. I've got no idea. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to guess again. So before you let the car move, make sure you've got a plan in place.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use this or that, and you'll measure that. That's the point where you'll start to turn. All right. Or it might be something as vague as we need to make sure that our front wheels are level with that first curved curb before we start to steer. All right. Whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
And then you say, all right, okay, yeah, I'll try that. And it'll either work or it won't. But whatever you do, don't let the car move until you've got agreement about what the change is going to be.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just
Chaos,
going to do
yeah.
the same again.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Not because I'm mean, not because I'm being unfair, but because as this learner, I
Anything
don't know
can
what I'm
happen.
doing.
Anything can happen. Okay, that's fine. So we'll take the next available left, and then what we'll do, we'll try using a reference point.
All right.
And what we'll try, and we'll see if it works or not. If we use the centre of the windscreen wiper,
All right, yeah.
and when it's in line with, if you can see where the road curves around,
Oh, yeah,
the curb
yeah.
line.
Yeah.
You imagine drawing a line right across the road
Uh-huh.
at the beginning of the curve. So if I just show you on here, so we're going down this corner, and that's the other part of it. So we're turning in here. So if you imagine a line about there, going across the road, just as the curve starts.
A little bit where the tar changes colour.
Well, it changes.
there.
Yep. So you've got the lighter colour, which is the curb,
Yeah.
and drops down onto the tarmac.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you look on the pavement, actually, there's a grey section, and then it goes on to dark black.
All
You
right,
see
yeah,
that?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's almost the line that you want to start gently steering into the corner.
Oh, okay.
Just after that. So we keep a position, your normal driving position, about
Mm-hmm.
3 feet out from the curb line.
Yeah.
Nice and steady as we go round, and just start putting gentle input on the steering and try and follow that curb line round.
Oh, okay.
And we'll see whether that works for you.
Right, yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
After all, how's that?
It'll either work or it won't. You've given me a method of judging it. In role as the examiner, the assessor, I've got to think, does that make sense to me? It probably does. You just take my normal driving position reference point
Yeah.
and just say when the curb moves away from it, steer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, I'll look at that and think, well, me personally, I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably enough. I'll react to that and see what happens. So, yeah, we'll try it.
Okay.
Back and roll.
So, okay, when you're ready, prepare the car and move off when you're ready.
So, just before I do, what's your plan? What are you going to do? You going to leave me to try it on my own, or are you going to talk me through it?
Do I offer prompting?
I would offer full-blown talk through. In fact, I wouldn't offer it. I'd insist on it.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just going to go,
Chaos.
I forgot.
Okay. Okay, so just before we set off, I'm going to get you to move away, adopt
Yeah.
your normal driving position. We haven't got a lot of space to carry out that. Do all your observations before we set off, and then I'll prompt you as to when to start turning.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. To the next left.
We'll take the next turn on the left. Okay. So look at the guideline here. Just gently start slurring in now. Just watch your speed. Just follow it a bit tighter on the curve. A bit tighter. A bit tighter. That's
Right.
good. Okay.
I'll just pull over
Just
here.
yeah, I was going to say just pull up on the left somewhere safely.
Now you can engage in a little bit of, how was that? Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think on the next bend you could have a go at that on your own? I'll give it a go. And then you can see. So you've got to prevent it first by making sure that the methodology you've given them works. You don't need to give them a full-blown talk through on, mirror signal, but okay, as we're coming up here, remember, we're going to get your reference point lined up with the curve and then steer. That's about now. Steer now. Right, that's it. How was that? Oh, right. Right. Oh, I see what you mean now, yeah. Okay, so on the next one, do you want to try that on your own, or do you still want a little bit of help from me? It might be vague and say, I'll let you decide. If it's up to you to decide, talk them through the next one.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, you've done that twice now. Let's try the next one on
You
your
do
own.
on your own.
So you're dotting the T's and crossing the I's. Other
Yeah.
way around. So it's such a small change, but it makes such a vast difference. Because they want to see that you spot it, you analyse it, you prevent it happening, and then you apply remedial. Or that there is learning takes place because you've transferred the responsibility.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we try some more?
So would that have been enough sort of guidance on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Made me do it. I was going to drift a little bit wide, but you stopped me.
Okay.
So back in more. End of the road, we'll go left.
Okay. At the end of this road, Dave, we're going to go to left. Turn to left, please.
How's my position?
Yeah, we're a bit wide on this one, Bob. Okay.
Oh, rats.
Dave, sorry. So remember what we talked about? Try and use a reference point.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Next road on the left.
So we'll take the next turning on the left, please, Dave. Just remember what we talked about on positioning. So just take some speed off. Give yourself time to get set up. Okay. Off. That's it. Bring it round a bit tighter. A bit tighter. Can you see your reference point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just pull up on the left, please. Somewhere safe, legal and convenient.
So again, even though you've got me to do it, we've talked through it, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Straight away. Yeah.
Straight away I've got it wrong again. And that's the bit where on exam you can be thinking, we've just talked about this, so even if you are passing responsibility to me, still remind me. You reminded me on this one, so I cannot really then say, oh, I didn't know, because you've reminded me. On the other one, you left me on my own.
Yeah.
Now that's okay, as long as there's a plan in place that you've agreed. Right, do you want to try the next one on your own? Yeah. But if you haven't agreed that, you'll just get it wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's and these are the areas where people think, well, it's just not fair.
So I just got totally caught out in that because thinking, well, I've done a nice tight one here. I'm thinking, we can go fairly wide on that one anyway. So, yeah, okay.
So it's just
Concentrate,
understanding.
yeah.
So that's fine. It illustrates the point beautifully, because if you just leave me to it, I'll get it wrong.
Yeah.
And then you think, well, hang on, a learner driver wouldn't do that. You've just taught me the lesson. And no, they
Because the
wouldn't.
daft thing is, I was watching your feet watch to see what you're doing. See with your coaching or whatever.
The
I think,
more
I'm
you
not
looked there, the wider I went. I thought, all right, here we go. But that's fine. There's only so much you can look for. But if you find yourself in that position, you just say, no, look at that position here. Oh, yeah, we're wide again, aren't we? Yeah, so on our next corner, we'll have a little look at that, okay? And just go
So
back
even
to
as,
remind
as
me.
we stopped at the junction, if I'd mentioned that, that'd
Just
be
stop
okay.
there. Look at that position.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's all part of the fix process. The fact that you don't fix it instantly isn't necessarily the big deal.
As long as you've identified it.
As long as you
put a plan
work,
in.
it's a work in progress. As long as you get it by the end, then you're all right. Come on.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll reset it. You've identified the problem. You've got me to agree that it's something we're going to fix on. We've talked about the reference point. We're just about to have another go.
Okay.
So we'll pretend that last loop didn't happen.
Okay, Dave. So what we're going to try is letting you have another go at this. How do you feel about doing it all on your own? Do you want any help from me?
Or maybe a little bit.
Okay, no problem. I'll just give you a little prompt as to when to turn. Okay, so prepare the car.
God, he went a bit wide then. So he's got the same problem as me.
So do you understand the problem, what it may cause then?
Oh, yeah, he was
As you've been sitting there.
Well,
Exactly.
the rod, wasn't it?
That's it. Okay.
Next left.
So next turning on the left. So just remember about the reference points we talked about. Okay, nice and steady. Steady throttle as you come round. Okay, and just after the silver car, we pull up somewhere on the left. Safe, legal and convenient. Okay, how did that feel?
That was better.
Could you feel a difference in were you more in control?
We were right the way in, weren't we?
Yeah, and your speed was good, because what tends to happen if you get a bit too much speed on it, wants to throw the car out anyway, so you're under full control all the way around.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, do you feel up to having another go totally on your own? Can we try it?
Yeah, I'll have a go. Yeah.
Okay, right, so prepare the car.
End of the road, we'll go left.
At the end of this road, we'll go to the left, Dave, please. Okay, just hold it at the junction moment. Just take a quick look to your left. Just have a look at your positioning.
Oh, we're still a little bit wide, aren't we?
Just a little bit. So what do we need to do?
I've got it tucked in a little bit more.
Okay, well let's try one more.
I thought I'd followed it round all right.
Yep, we just need to be a little bit closer. That was much better. Still need to just improve it a bit more.
Okay. So again, I'll pull up just on the left. So what do you think's at play there? Why have I done that in the role of the assessor?
I haven't shown you something properly.
No, it's okay. You've let me go on my own, but I'm showing you that I'm making progress. But maybe I still need a little bit of help. It's okay. That was a lot better, but you drifted a little bit wide. Do you think you could do a little bit extra help from me? Oh yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Or it might just be that I would just need another couple of goes.
Which is why when I stopped there, I said,
Was the right
look
thing
at the thing, and then should we
bit,
try it again?
We're a bit wide, and we were only a bit wide.
Yeah,
so
it was
there
much
has been
better, a lot
improvement.
closer. Yeah.
So, what might be the reason there? So, what I did there was I introduced another fault while you were working on that one, and the fault this time was that once I'd steered into the corner, I steered to the right. So that's what caused us to be wide this time,
Right.
not the reference point. The reason we're wide is because I'm not looking at the reference point. So that's a separate fault now. So I'm happy, yeah. And when we come into the next corner, I'm going to follow the line in. I'm going to hit the reference point and turn. But now I've introduced another one. So in my head, yeah, I'm happy with that. Time for a new one. So always be alert. It might not be the same things.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've turned in exactly where I should have done on my own. So I've shown you that. But then as I've come in, I thought, all right, time for a new one. So I've stayed to the right. So it's the same problem, but it's caused by something else this time.
So what I need to highlight is the fact that, yeah, that was a big improvement. However, when you've looked to the right,
We've still ended up wide. Why do you think that is? I'm not right sure. So where were we looking when we came in? Well, I was looking to the right for traffic. Okay, that's great. So, but when you're looking to the right, of course, you're going to drift a little to the right. So we need to be looking right and left, don't we? Brilliant. Well done on getting the mark to turn in. So that can be a little bit confusing.
yeah.
But you just be alive all the time. Why has that happened? If I've turned in at the right place, that should be okay.
So
This
in
is
the
something
middle.
else.
Yeah.
What's caused this? Always the cause. What's the cause here? Not the symptom. What's the cause? Why has that happened? And it's because I was staring at the right. Well, that's a little layer of complication that I added there, just to test you.
No, that's fine. It's
So
just another thing to look out for.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah,
I'm
because
hoping it does.
Because not only I'm picking up, hopefully, the faults and talking through why we need to rectify it.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a talk through to allow it to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and then relinquishing responsibility to you. Then hopefully, on if you like the final run, that you've got it without introducing any other faults. And then if you have done,
Well,
pick
you
it
will.
up.
You will sometimes bring in another fault and do more than one fault at the same time. They tend not to do too much of that. Or if you're working on a fault and he doesn't feel that you're doing well, you might bring another one in. But just be aware all the time that there could be another fault occurring. Get the car to stop and deal with them. What's causing this? So you've identified it, and you need to analyse it. Put a plan together between you. So he has to agree that it needs fixing and understand why it's going wrong, so that you can then prevent it and then pass responsibility to them to do it on their own.
So with such as that one, if I'd picked up on at that point, you drifted out because we're looking right. Would you say, right, let's go back round the block, and we'll do that junction again. Do it on your get home, but just bear in mind about how the car may drift.
Again, you have the problem that he may just say to you, I'll dictate the route. So he won't let you sometimes go back to the same thing because he's got a route planned.
Yeah.
But he may even come out of and say, you will get the opportunity to tackle similar junctions. And you will do. So it's just a case of working on what you've got. So that,
Or is it enough just to say, well, you were a bit wide, and this is a reason, because you've looked right?
yeah.
Is that enough for him?
Well, again,
Or would you say,
the supplemental question always needs to be, do you know how we can stop that happening? Or what do you think you need to do to prevent that? I don't know. Well, you need to tell him, and then make sure that that's implemented, and then transfer responsibility to him. So it's all about managing risk, managing what's happening to him in a safe way, making sure that he understands it's a problem, make sure he understands why it's a problem, make sure he understands how he can fix it, and then putting a plan of controlling the sequence of events in such a way that we eradicate the problem, and we're able to transfer responsibility to him so that he can then eradicate the problem without our help. That's ideally what we're looking for, transfer of learning.
okay,
In the real world, learner drivers can just work it out for themselves. You've seen the videos, you've seen how it works. They just work it out.
okay,
Want to do some more?
yeah,
Onwards and upwards. Get ready to take the next road on the right.
okay. We'll take the next turning on the right, please, Dave. Make sure your foot's completely off the clutch when you give your change.
At the roundabout, we'll take the road to the left and then the first road on the left.
Okay, at the roundabout, Dave, we'll take the first exit to the left, and then we'll take the first road on the left. What's the danger of this car parked here?
It's putting us on the wrong side of the road, isn't it?
Yeah. First exit. Take the next turning on the left, please, Dave. Just remember what we said about reference points?
Oh, yeah.
That's much better, well done.
All right.
It's really good. Do you feel the difference in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more
Yeah.
control. Well done.
End of the road, we'll go on left.
The end of this road, Dave, we'll turn left, please. Okay. Can you tell what sort of junction this is?
Oh, it's a crossroads, isn't it?
Okay, so. What's it? Hold on. Okay, just a little little bit wide on that one as we came round.
Oh, right.
Just remember on your positioning.
Next road on the right.
Take the next road to the right, please, Dave. Okay, just pull up somewhere on the left, please. Safe, legal and convenient, Dave, please. Okay, and engine off, please. Okay, just a couple of points I've picked up on there, and
Alright.
again to do with the positioning on the junctions.
All right. Right.
So we're a little bit wide coming out on the crossroads junction.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You said, yeah.
So just watch your line. Remember about the reference point.
Yeah.
Use
yeah.
that to help you. And if needs be, because you're at a junction and you come up really slow, you can always use your near side mirror just to help you just see how wide you are, so you're not sitting
Right.
out too far.
Oh,
Okay.
Right, right.
And position yourself nicely on the as you come out, just slightly, so you're pointing to the direction you want to
Right.
go.
Right.
As we came into this junction,
Mhm.
you were just off the clutch as we were turning right, and we just cut the corner a little bit,
Did we?
just a little bit.
All right.
So again, it's around using a reference point. So how do you usually gauge on your right hand turns when to turn?
Or I just take like a snapshot. Look on the road, like take a picture, and put myself sort of in the middle of it.
So what we need to do, like we've understood, we've got a reference point to do a left turn. We need something to help you with the right hand turn, so it's
yeah.
consistent for every turn.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay, so what usually works for everybody, or for most people, and we'll try it, see if it works with you, is using the driver's door mirror. So as you approach the junction, so as we came in to turn right, as the car's about here, if you imagine the white line coming all the way across, that should be pretty much in line with your door mirror.
All right.
So if you imagine drawing a line across, that's the
Right.
point at which you need to start turning,
All right.
and that'll take you round that way instead of cutting it. Like that.
Okay.
Because again, what do you think the danger is by cutting that corner? Think about the car that went down earlier.
Oh,
was
yeah,
turning right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can on.
So if he's a bit wide as well,
Yeah, yeah.
it creates a really awkward
I see what
situation.
you're saying, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
so just that roll.
Yep.
That'll pick up the right things.
There's still one outstanding, but we'll look at that in a bit. Let's fix this one first.
I've wondered, borderline, is it coasting?
No,
Because yeah, that's fine. Because I've looked at it, I thought, have you just pressed the clutch a
I've
bit
done
too
it.
early? But
every time we've come to a giveaway line, I've done it. Am I making normal progress? The positioning fault is linked, sort of. You don't think I'm a bit hesitant? I'm
yeah,
sitting
after the
for
van,
ages.
yeah, yeah.
And at the same time, where was most of my observation happening as we moved forward? I was
Yeah,
still
towards
looking
that
up
way,
the road.
instead of looking
That's
left.
why I'm wide.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I am hesitant, and I did it on the very first junction we came out at. I was a bit hesitant, and my position wasn't right. And we haven't done too many T junctions, but each time we've done it, I've just been overly careful.
Yeah.
Not to the point where it's, you're going to have people beeping the horns, but I clearly could have gone, so I should have done.
Yeah.
So you have picked up on it. You just haven't done anything about it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you're sat there thinking, well, I would have gone, I should have gone. Okay, so we'll forget the hesitancy. Let's work on this one. So what's the plan, man?
Right. So similar to what we did with the left-hand turn, we'll find a suitable road in which to turn right, and we'll just try out that method of using the mirror as a reference point for
Oh, right,
you.
okay, yeah.
Okay. So similar to when we did the left-hand turn, consider your speed. Doesn't need to be too quick for getting around the junction, especially if there's a car sitting on the junction.
All right, yeah.
So we need to be nice and steady, nice controlled. It may be that you've had to come to a standstill and had to take first gear. But assuming like in that situation where you're rolling,
Yeah.
down to sort of 10 miles an hour, into second, foot off the clutch, and then turn at the point where your mirror meets the giveaway line.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
With some roads, there may not be a line there. If it's a smallish road,
What would I do there?
Well, you've got to imagine one.
All right, okay.
Sometimes you might have the help of, see how down the centre of the road, because of the way they tarmac it and do the layers of.
Right.
So you end up with a sort of a midway line.
Yeah.
But if not, then you've got to try and imagine, split the road into two
Right.
and imagine where the halfway point would be.
Okay. Yeah.
So that just gives you an idea.
Right.
Okay. Start roll. Is that enough explanation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you going to do?
Okay. So what we'll do when we get to a suitable junction, I'll guide you through it. Like I did with the left-hand turn.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then we'll pull up. I was going to say review. I'm allowed to sort of.
Review's fine. No wrong with it.
I wasn't sure if we could consider two player centred. We'll pull up the side and just have a talk about how that went. And then, as with the left turn, we'll let you have a go at it.
Yeah. So that's the question for overall. I mean, that's the question for yourself all the time. Is this working? Is what I'm putting into place actually happening? And if it isn't, it's time for you to review for yourself. All right, what else can I do here? See if you can involve him. It's unlikely that he's going to give you any hints, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So, back in the roll.
Okay.
Get me to take the next road on the left.
Okay, so we'll take the next turning on the left, please, Dave. That's much better. Just be careful, this guy. Lady.
It's a tight road there, isn't it?
I need to watch out for pedestrians.
I was talking to my mate about that, and he was saying, if we're around here and there was pedestrians on the side of the road, like a little old lady, he said he would slow down and like wave her across. Was he right?
No, totally wrong.
Left at the end of the road.
We'll turn left at the end of this road, please, Dave.
It sort of made sense, really. You want to be helpful to little old ladies, don't you? Somebody's granny.
Okay. Tell me about the gear change just there. Why did we come out of second back into second? Did we need to do that?
No, we didn't really, maybe not. No.
Okay, we're just going a little bit slow. We just need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Next road on the right.
Okay, we'll take the next turn on the right, please, Dave. Now, on the approach to it, we'll say, so off the gas, bring the speed down to around 10 miles an hour. Just watch for the line in your driver's door mirror. Now turn. Okay. And just pull up on the left. A safe, convenient place, please. Okay, switch engine. How did that feel?
That was better, yeah.
Did it make sense? The
Yeah.
position? Okay.
Yeah, I was like properly tucked in when I turned, wasn't I?
Okay. Just that roll on that, because I got you down to quite a low speed there, and it was almost borderline. Would have been worth getting into first.
Nah.
Not
I
worried about
don't
that.
even worry about that. It was
Yeah.
all I did was borrow. You've prevented the thing happening. So what we have to then understand, of course, is that preventing it and fixing it are two different things.
Okay.
You've stopped it happening, but if you withdraw your support, I'll just go back to doing what I was doing before. I've agreed with you. That's much better. Wow, I've seen the light, but I haven't.
Right. So now I need to.
You need to either help me a little bit less and then gradually transfer, or you need to say, do you want to have a go at that on your own? Yeah, I'll have a go on my own.
Yeah.
And if he opts for having a go on his own, he's probably going to get it right because he's happy with what you've done so far.
I mean, is that the right sort of thing to do? Once got you around the corner, say, pull up. Right. How did that feel?
Yeah.
And then do
If there's any doubt in your mind, just stop. If you're stopping too much,
even if it feels that you made progress. Say, right. How did that feel for you? Can you feel the difference?
well, what you've got from me is a clear message that yes, that's okay. All right, I see what you're on about now.
Because the counter side to this, because obviously we are on a residential estate, that if I engage in a conversation while you're driving, say, well, what do you think to that? Your concentration's away.
Possibly.
And then you can
So-
come back and say, well, I missed that because I was too busy answering your question.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
So it's a fine line.
it is. Well, I demonstrated that for you, wasn't it? When I was chewing on at you about the old lady crossing the road, I got my gear change wrong because I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you could have at that point said, "Come on, concentrate on what we're doing." That's why. Why did that happen? I was sat in sullen silence. But I've asked you that question. While you've got the car stopped, answer the question, because if you don't, I'm just going to ask it immediately as soon as we start moving. So this little old lady, then what do I do about it? Why is that a bad idea? So just once you've got the opportunity to stop, so tell me about the situation you're on about with this little old lady. Describe that again for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's just my mate was saying, we were out driving the other day, and this little old lady was there, and he slowed down and like waved her across, and I said, I wasn't sure what was going to happen there, and I said to him, "What have you done that for?"
Jeez.
And he said, "Well, it's nice. That's somebody's grandma. You should have let her out." So are you saying I shouldn't do that? So answer his question and then move on. And I've just seemed to be a little favourite, that one. Waving little old ladies across. I don't know, maybe his grandma got run over. Who knows? So deal with it. No, it's a bad idea because.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Right. I see what you mean.
So you just sort of say, well, when we pull up, we'll discuss that. I'll go through the reasons for that, yeah.
Or the next time when you've pulled up to discuss something else, just okay, let's that little old lady you were talking about, let's have a little chat about that. Because you don't want that sort of distraction while you're on the move.
Yeah.
And you keep at it. You just keep at it. And it's another way that they're testing your knowledge, by asking you questions within roll. Coming back to the, how much do you stop? Is this too much? Is it not enough? If he feels you're stopping too much, he'll prompt you within roll. He says, the last instructor never used to stop this much. We're stopping all the time, yeah. Have I not paid to drive the car?
Yeah.
Now the standard answer is no, you've paid to learn how to drive the car, but yeah. So, what's your plan for moving forward from this? You've prevented it happening.
Okay. So what we'll do now, Dave, we'll drive round again, find another suitable right-hand junction, and we'll let you have a go at it. Are you comfortable doing it on your own, or would you like a bit more prompting from me?
No, I think I can manage. I think I can do that, yeah.
Okay.
I'll have a go.
If it looks like you're maybe going to overrun, then I'll cut in and just give you a prompt. But have a go on your own and see how we go on.
Yeah, so again, popping out a roll. Even though he's saying he's having to go on his own, the next time he says to you, tell me to take the next turning on the right, take the next turning on the right, remembering what we've been working on. You're not instructing, but you are
So you
giving a
just
little
put that
bit of a
little
prompt.
caveat in. Yeah.
And then you're still kind of covering it, and he's, all right, okay. Otherwise, he might just go, I forgot.
So
As long as you don't say, take the next turning on the right, and remember to wait till the mirror gets up, because that is instruction.
so just
we've been
remember what
working
we
on.
talked about.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Onwards and upwards.
It's all the tiny bits, isn't it? It's the
But
ones that catch you out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stay at a roll while we drive up this little bit, because there's nothing happening up here. It's just looking at this basic procedure, because it's the same for everything. Once you've spotted a fault, it's identical.
Yeah.
That's why I did that little flow chart, because that's just what we've been doing there, going through that and making sure that we've taken account of every aspect of it. You've spotted the fault. Is he aware it's a fault? Is he aware why it's a fault? Is he aware what he can do to fix it? What sort of level of help does he want from you? You then need to prevent it happening, then you need to transfer responsibility to him, and then that's the job complete. By doing all of that, your control and planning and your level of instruction is right.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure when you were about the old biddy whether it was you deliberately slowing down to say, well, hang on, you're driving a bit hesitantly here.
No,
But
it's
then,
just a
then I
random
thought, hang
question.
on, if I'd been sat there, I'd have slowed down for these with the prams and what have you. So, yeah.
Well, it just led me to, pedestrians, yeah.
Yeah.
So, back in row. We'll take the first exit from this road.
Okay, to the next exit on the left, please, Dave.
And then at the end of the road, we'll turn left.
At the end of this road, we'll turn left, please, Dave. You see the road markings?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
What's it telling us?
we can only go left, so
That's
don't
right.
need a signal yet, do we?
Okay. So what do we be careful of here?
People come around this way.
Okay, don't forget to look to the left, see where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
Always important you check to your left when pulling out, not only to guide you as to where you're going,
Next
but
left.
take the next turning on the left.
Next turning on the right.
Take the next turning on the right, please, Dave. Remember what we talked about?
Oh, yeah. And get me to pull
pull up on the left. Safe, legal, convenient place.
So thinking about those core comps boxes at the top of the form, what I've just done there, what does that tell you about those boxes where it's going to be marked? I've come down.
Well, hopefully they should be good because you've done what I've asked you.
They're at least a 4.
Yeah.
At least a 4 because I have done the thing on my own. The fault is cured. I've done it under my own steam. You must have done your job. So they must all be ticked. How well you've done it depends on whether it's a 4, 5 or 6. But if you hadn't done the job right, I'd cut the corner.
Yeah.
So that means back round the loop, back to the top of the thing. You made the fault. Are you aware it's a fault? Are you aware why it's a fault? Are you aware of how we're going to fix it? What are we going to do that? What are we going to put in place? What level of help do you want from me? And then eventually come and transfer it to you. So if he does it on his own and it's fixed, you've done your job. If you haven't done your job properly, the fault will reoccur over and over and over. So any time a fault reoccurs, it's you. It's never him, it's you.
Yeah.
Unless it's for a different reason, which sometimes it can be, like that drifting wide.
So coming up to the junction where I highlighted the road marking,
Yeah.
so you've got the car parked on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
How was that?
Right. You've kept me under control, which is good. So, does that make sense for the phase 2 stuff? What it is that we're chasing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's quite the opposite of doing the phase 1 stuff, but it's trying to recognise bits other than just the coming out of a T-junction, the bits that's happening in between that's going to lead up to the potential fault.
Yeah. So it's being aware of what he's doing, or she.
And as you said, that's whatever the faults are happening on the way to the junction are usually going to be the...
Well, it's the fault is happening for a reason that the examiner has decided beforehand. I'm doing this because, like the hesitancy. If I was hesitant coming out, I'd probably be slow going in. There's no way I'd be fast into a junction and hesitant coming out. Unless the fault was speed and approach, and I was then stopping. And you're nailing me for hesitancy, and it's not hesitancy, it's speed and approach that's the problem. So the two things could be the same. I can be waiting at the junction, look, and then go, either because I'm scared or because I've come in too fast. So the fault is the same, but they're created by different things. The cause is different.
Yeah.
The symptom is the same. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So by just looking at that process, that little flow chart that we did, it can help you to sort of try and make sure we're doing what we need to do to get all of those component parts need to be in place. If one of them is missing, the whole thing comes apart.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
All right.
Good?
All right. Feeling much more comfortable with it.
Good. Today and yesterday was all about practice as principles, getting things in place, particularly this stuff, and understanding the process. And I think really understanding what the test's about, that it is an assessment, and that he is assessing that you have these component parts in place, and if one of them's missing, it all falls down because you'll just continually make the same fault.
Yeah.
And it can become massively frustrating. You just sat there thinking, I remember on my first part 3, just sat there thinking, he's done it again. We've just agreed that this is a bad idea. What's he doing? Because I just didn't understand. So when I went back, of course, after I had some proper training.
The worst thing, it's relatively relaxed. It's still daunting, but it's still relatively relaxed. But on the test day, you've got that amount of time to try and sort it out.
You've got at best 25 minutes for each bit. It's nothing. It's nothing at all.
How long have we been at now?
Well,
On this bit?
good question. Not sure.
3 quarters of an hour?
Something like that, yeah. So that's 2 tests.
Scary.
Oh, well done. Well, cup of tea.